But I just want to make sure I use him before.
Margaret, we're live. Margaret, we're live.
What?
We're live.
What?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm just gonna. So, hi everybody.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? Oh, she's gone. Oh no. Okay,
I'm fine.
Hey guys, Mitchell's here, Liz is here, and Marie's here. You guys are ready to party. That's right. Okay. How has everybody's month been going?
Do you mean readathon wise, or do you mean existentially?
You know what? How about both?
It is Pride Month. Our best life.
Existentially, has not been
this end. But that's fine. I just had it's no different than the last 5 months of the year.
Fair enough.
That's fair. Things have been kind of crazy. My dad, his wedding is not this coming weekend, but the one after that. And I just started shopping for what to wear. And it's on the beach. So I also have to buy swimwear, which I haven't had in like 7 years. I haven't had swimwear in like 7 years. So
I have
that's
some.
going to be good.
It's in your drawer.
At least you got an invite.
I haven't used it since I was 20.
Yeah. You didn't invite me.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. My life is just a giant hole of studying insurance. So that's been my month.
Yeah. Reading wise for me has been not that great. I think the only books I read I think 2 books that were both like less than 300 pages, including the group book. Both less than 300 pages, and then 1 graphic novel. And then I started reading Gods of Dreams and Monsters, the last one in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone. And I'm like less than 100 pages into that. That's it. That's all I've read.
You still recording? It's fine.
It's fine.
I've really just been reading graphic novels, and that's about it.
Yeah, it's just been crazy. Life has been crazy, And I feel like we all feel that right now. We all feel in that right
I do
now.
feel like go ahead. Sorry. I do feel like I've rediscovered audiobooks this last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So like I may be back to reading a bunch of books at a time because I've been like, I want all audiobooks on YouTube right now, no podcasts.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting how
Please
we go
explain
through those different phases, because right now I'm having to like kind of force myself to get through an audiobook instead of watching YouTube or something like that. And I'm like, no, like I have to finish this book.
I just finished the show, and so I always go through this like a kind of like a show hangover where I'm like, I don't know what to watch now. So like I still have to watch some movies for like a video, but other than that, I'm like, maybe I should give an audiobook a chance. So then I finally like got into the Libby for my library, and I'm like, click. I want this one and this one and this one and this one. I've just been sampling a bunch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to like kind of pull yourself out of the hangover though, kind of just explore a little bit.
There's tons of shows I want to watch. It's just I'm like,
yeah.
I went through a really big one when I finished Narcos, like the 2nd season, and I was like, do I want to watch the 3rd season? The jury's still out on that one, but I mean, I'll get to it eventually.
I haven't watched any TV shows since we finished Rutherford Falls.
I still think it might peak
because none of them are Rutherford Falls.
Subscription.
We finished Lucifer last week, and now it's been like, what do we watch now?
Oh yeah.
There's some really good movies on Hulu though.
Yeah.
Right now, yeah.
Okay, so we released Valkyrie and Loki this month. I just started one of the books for Loki. That's going to be Dreams of Gods and Monsters is going to go on Loki's board. And then I still have another longer book to read for Loki's board. As far as Valkyrie goes, yeah, all I've done is read the group book, which takes care of those prompts. That's it. I haven't touched any of our other ones yet. Is anyone anywhere close to finishing their boards? Because
I finished Valkyrie. I finished Valkyrie. That's the fastest I think I've ever gotten a board.
Nice.
You finished too?
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie.
And then I think I have 2 or 3 prompts left on Loki.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Christine would be proud of me. The last board I finished was Bucky.
Yes.
I also have Hawkeye, so I still haven't finished Hawkeye yet.
I think I have Gamora.
Nice.
Yeah, I need to go through because I have a bunch of boards that I have 1 book left for.
Yeah.
And I have not touched a single one of those this month.
You should
I fail at life.
You should do a reading vlog on that.
Like,
and close out afterwards.
A reading vlog.
I
of
think
finishing
that's
all the
going to be.
That's a good idea.
I just need to get more room on my memory cards at the moment because I haven't been editing videos, which means that I have been filming vlogs and nothing has been happening.
Christine!
I'm getting in the car!
Hi. Yeah. I'm all
That's not nice.
It's a new car though this time. I can't. Oh.
And she just put
Curly?
C. Her name is just C.
I love you.
Thank you.
So I guess none of the hosts have finished Loki, huh?
Nope.
No,
I
I've
have
been
not
putting it
finished
off.
a single board since Bucky. And that was when was that, Christine? I think Christine would know when I finished Bucky.
You finished Bucky?
I finished Bucky because I used Steve.
You have a board?
Hold on. I have 3 so far.
I have 3
We just
over 6 months.
you let's see. Okay, I finished Bucky on May 13th. That was the last board I finished. It's because you're an overachiever, Christine.
I have 4 more and I'll finish.
I love you for it. You what? What was that, Michelle?
I have 4 more and I will have finished Thor.
Yay!
Good for you.
I'm close. And then I'm going to try for Bucky and then Loki.
I think I have 2 for Thor.
I owe it to Christine to go for Bucky.
That's
Um,
funny.
I think I have.
I think Christine is frozen at the moment.
I think I have 15 or 16 Avengers.
Oh,
So not one of them. but-
she's sideways. There we go. Okay. As far as people in the comments, what was your reaction to your Loki reward that you ended up doing? I just want to know what your thoughts were, how you felt, how angry you were with us when you looked at that wheel and you read all the options of what could happen to you.
How many of you have gotten a negative reward?
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah, I'm kind of putting it off because I'm hoping that, I'm hoping to finish Loki. Yeah, I'm hoping to finish Loki right after we start the month of July so that I can use, if I get like the wipe board, I could use one of the new boards and just like have barely, have barely started it as opposed to
The ones that you're like,
yeah, because like most of the other ones I'm closer to finishing, so I'd rather like start one of the new boards and then like just change the book for like one prompt, like maybe like maybe start the one for like the 90s prompt, like because I don't think I'm going to be able to double up that one, so just like start one book and then Sophie screwed me over. It's okay.
That's so funny. I consider myself started on every single board that we've done so far because I have read all of the group books so far. So if all I have to do is like one of the group books from one of the boards, we'll be fine.
Right. My plan to So I'm gonna get Captain Marvel first before I finish Loki, because her power is to like defeat an inconvenience. And so if I do get a negative power from Loki, I can use Marvel's power to wipe it out.
That's a good idea. That's a good
smart.
idea.
That's smart.
That's a great idea.
I started taking it easy on completing boards. Like I gave myself a bit of a break from like working too hard for it, so that Margaret could catch up. Haven't been using any
One of these
powers,
days, I'm
like,
going to sit down and figure it out. Well, speaking of Margaret needing boards, keep going. I just remembered something that I need to do.
So as far as the boards go, do we have anything else we wanted to talk about? I don't think so. I think that was it.
I don't think so.
Okay.
And
So
we don't have any questions in the chat, at least, about the boss battle, from what I understand, from what I see. Cool. So if anyone in the chat has questions about the transition from, or the step away from Discord as far as most boss battles go. Is that? Whose dog is that? Because I love them. Tell them I love them, whoever's dog is whining.
Oh, that's my dog.
That's your dog. Okay, tell him I love him. Because I can hear him like someone.
I wish you could fully see what's happening here. Let me just like. He's sitting there, staring into the abyss, being distraught. He just wants attention. He wants to go outside. He wants water. Everything. It's probably that he wants to be outside right now, to be honest, because there's a truck out there with a trailer on it. And so he knows that probably means somebody doing yard work. And that is someone that he therefore needs to protect and attack.
Yeah.
Protect us by attacking them. That did not make sense together.
You can watch Doyle's just like passed out in my lap.
Oh, yeah. Now he's just staring at me with the same
Mom, you are talking about me.
Exact same thing, just staring at me. He's so drama. And then Teddy over here, my Neff dog, is just chilling. He's like, whatever. That's his mood. Is like, I'm excited, or I'm like, whatever.
Whatever.
That feels like how I am right now.
Uncle Sam.
Like, that's a mood.
Like, he's very concerned.
Oh, yeah. So, let's go ahead and start talking about the first movie. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. I know we all want to give a shout out to the music, because it's a playlist unlike any other.
The music is the best part about both movies, like the song choices and where they fit in the story and the action. Best part about both movies. Everything else, like, I enjoy it, but it's not like stand out to me.
Right.
Yeah.
I love the fact that
I do say
in the movie for the music.
Yes. And the music, I feel, is stronger, or at least more obvious in the first movie. Like, there are a lot stronger beats, I think. Like,
because the music kind of plays more of a character role or world building role, especially like with the dance off and things like that. And like when he's
true.
Like Star-Lord interacts with the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Whereas that's not normal in the movie.
In the second movie, I feel like the first volume, I remember listening to it over and over and over. I found a YouTube playlist for weeks on end. Like, I was obsessed. Yeah.
That was the first
and
time
then
I
did not look at all. Yeah, that's funny. We all have that on each of the music platforms, I'm sure.
Yeah.
My first purchase of Google Music was the Once Upon a Time musical episode.
Are you kidding? Oh my lord!
There was a couple of songs I liked.
Music. What is it with ABC and just deciding, you know what, we're gonna do a musical episode?
Episodes are embarrassing.
No, Michelle. Everyone was doing musical episodes at that point. Like, someone did it, and then all of the shows were like that. Like, we need to do it, and I'm like, but it made sense on this show. Buffy did it probably. Right. It made sense with the Buffy storyline.
Right.
Did it?
90% of the other ones don't make sense.
one character could sing. Does it make sense to have them all sing when only one of them can sing? Because I think it involves Christine skipping it on Netflix because the secondhand embarrassment is akin to a panic attack.
Buffy is no longer on Netflix, though.
Oh, well, it was when I was watching it through class in grade 12.
So aside from the music, like cinematically, I think the first movie is actually better than the second, in my opinion, cinematically.
Yeah.
Simply for the fact that they were trying too hard with some of the things, but we'll get to that in a minute. But I think I think the first one was like, it wasn't like overwhelming me, but it was, it was good. It was well done.
Yeah.
But then we get to like character and relationship development and plot development, and that's when things get interesting with these movies. It's like
pelvic sorcery.
I remember.
Yeah.
That is a good line, though.
That is such a good line. See, the humor.
That's such a good moment.
Yeah, the humor.
The humor hits every time.
It's just so
Most
good.
of the time.
Yeah, the
Also,
first movie, I really enjoyed the humor. Yeah,
yes.
And like it's kind of like there are elements and parts that are there, but it's like just some things miss the mark for me when it comes to like the characters and the plot development. Because like comparing to the.
I was gonna say, I actually think it's because they have I noticed this more in the second movie than in the first movie, but even in the first movie, the plot is kind of like mediocre. We've been there, done this before. So what really has to shine for them is the characters. And so I feel like the fact that they have actors that are able to pull off some of these lines and things that like they're able to so much of movie one felt like improv. I don't know how much was scripted and how much might have been improv, but it felt like they just said, here are a couple of points you need to hit, go for it.
Right.
Especially that one scene when they're all in a circle trying to figure out the plan.
We're all just standing in a circle.
But wait, how could that
it had that very... Go ahead.
But some of the funniest lines in the movie are a CGI raccoon, so he's not there when they're filming that. That couldn't have been improv. He's the funniest character in both movies.
True fact.
Raccoon is like literally Rocket is the best.
Funny, but he gets old for me. Yeah, Rocket never gets old.
So
like there's some characters.
No, Rocket doesn't.
That I'm glad gets snapped.
Oh, Christine is frozen.
Her.
But yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Although I do want to point out, usually when there is CGI involved like that, I know a lot of movies will have that actor offset at least reading their lines.
Right.
So that they still can interact with how they're going to be delivering them.
The only thing that I would say that I still
recording.
The only thing that still kind of like irks me is how like the MCU and like Marvel inside every movie they have brought up small parts of like the way trauma has shaped them, and then they just glaze over it with some comedy. Like when Rocket was like talking about how he was called vermin and he was called a rodent and things like that, and he just got so emotional. I was like, I feel for you.
Yeah.
And then something comedic happened like almost immediately after.
They don't rest in it long enough for it to like.
I'm honestly
really
take it or leave it on every character except Rocket and Nebula. Like the rest of them could have stayed dead in my opinion. Like I don't care.
Groot.
But
Groot,
I actually like the only Groot I like to die. Baby Groot can suck a dick. I only really like Rocket and Nebula.
Yes, I also
like I'm so tired of Star-Lord and Gamora already. Like, one movie was enough for those two, but
I don't know. I feel like,
we'll get in.
Personally, I feel like we didn't get enough of a like kind of like unspoken feeling in the first movie. It didn't feel as tensiony enough. It didn't feel like there was enough like oh, there's this thing, but we're not going for it, you know? Like, I feel like they could have made it a little bit more.
I felt it more in the first movie than the second movie. That might just be me, but like the second movie, I was like I just felt like she's saying she's not into you, and you're just a dude that is insisting that she is, and I'm just like, I understand where this is going, but I'm not comfortable necessarily with this.
Yeah, I just
whereas
feel
like in the first movie, it felt more like he was maybe trying a little bit to woo her. She wasn't really falling for it, but he was like he was just like, hey, I like you. Please like me back.
Yeah, I feel like in the second one,
sneaky link was in the spaceship.
Yeah.
What?
He forgot that his sneaky link was in the spaceship in the very first part of the first movie.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I feel like they just, like, after the first movie, they decided they were going to add this focus on that plot where they were going to make it be this unspoken thing. So then it felt like they were trying to force that so much that it, like...
It cut back on the banter. That's what worked between them in the first movie, the banter.
Yeah, and it was like they tried to add it in some, but it didn't... I don't know. I feel like maybe if they had just like spaced it out differently or something like that, or like organized it differently, like
I think if they had them snarking at each other more instead of like having to have deep conversations, it would have worked better.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I just think Robbie
like
character.
Yeah, or like if they
Christine
had more
was
of
so disgusted that we're even discussing this.
or if they had more conversations, like deeper conversations in like the first movie and like spaced it out, like instead of having all of that like in the second movie, so that they could have still had that like playful part of their relationship too or something. But
I think it also would have been like sorry, I was gonna say it would have been a perfect opportunity for people to be teasing them about it, and they're the ones brushing it off, if that makes sense. Like I feel like that works much better when you have two people that one of them likes the other person and the other one is kind of like really close to the chest about it. Because I don't think Gamora realized until she thought Quill was dead that she likes him back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel like
what about why you don't like, at least for me personally, I don't even buy the relationship as you get farther, like into Infinity Wars. Like it's one of those. Not that I don't buy it, but it's just that you like. I don't care because I'm not invested in it early.
Right.
True fact, I don't care.
Yeah, they didn't do.
I think I really liked Gamora for her like exhausted mom, exhausted big sister energy though, because she was just like idiots.
Yeah,
they're a bunch of idiots.
It's true.
I like Gamora. I don't like Star-Lord and Gamora.
I like
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
I don't really like either.
Nebula is better than Gamora.
I don't really like Gamora.
I think that Gamora was done
Nebula
dirty
is
in the
carrying
movies.
Dylan, of course she is. Yeah, I think so too. She's like the love interest very much.
Yeah, it's more about her role, and I feel like this is true for a lot of the characters in these two movies. And it's like I think the biggest downfall is their roles are more about their relationships than their personal growth. You don't see any growth, change, or true depth to them unless it's regarding how they interact with each other.
Right.
But you know,
for example, when we see depth in Rocket, when we see the depth of Rocket, it's only in, well, I act like this around people, but I really feel this. And it wasn't until Yondu kind of like talked to him about it, but it was about more of his interaction than how he, really feels. So even with Rocket, it was that way. I just feel like they focused more on the relationships or the relationship than they did like the individuals, and like even with Nebula and Gamora too,
Right.
I kind of disagree.
I actually feel like that's the more interesting thing about Gamora is like her relationship with her sister and her like that struggle with Thanos is more interesting than like Quill is just there on the sideline because he is, and he needs a love interest, and therefore Gamora is there. So because we're Marvel.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, go ahead, Christine. See it in your face. You have a thought.
Thank you. So I disagree because I look at Marvel arcs as like a multi-movie endeavor, and like yes, there's gonna be smaller character arcs per movie. But I think if you look at the character growth, particularly with Rocket and Nebula, the only two characters that matter, over the course of 4 movies and not 2, I think they have a lot of wonderful character growth, and I think Gamora has a really interesting arc too in her few movies, and Drax, Mantis, and Star-Lord are idiots and Bruce Tree, but like I think that the characters with like some functioning brain power actually do have a good arc. It's not condensed into the 2 movies because that was never the plan. And so, like, obviously, this month we only watched those 2 movies, but I think that especially Nebula has a really fucking cool story across 4 movies.
Yeah.
I love
Nebula has a great arc.
That's exactly.
Yeah, I was
like, like you don't.
Yeah, I do think
her relationship with Thanos, with Guardians of the Galaxy, like in those 2 movies, she mentions it, but you don't understand it.
Right. Yeah.
I actually personally really like Mantis.
I like Mantis too.
Mantis is just like horrible.
Mantis is she reminds me of like a golden retriever because everything is wonderful.
But then when she feels Drax's pain, she's like, "Oh, it's like that."
I love how she says things. It's just the way that she communicates is what is great. It's like working with 3-year-olds for me. The way they communicate.
Yeah, and I also can't blame her for being a complete and total idiot sometimes because that's all ego. Like, he raised her away from everyone else. I did have a realization watching Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and that is that I would date Drax, and that was a weird moment for me.
You date Drax?
What?
I would do. I 1,000%.
I would date a man who called me ugly and meant it like a compliment.
No, I 1,000%.
Margaret, you'd like rupture your vaginal canal.
Home, do the jangling. I would do the whole shebang with Drax.
I would date Nebula, but I mean, I feel like with my feelings about Bucky, like that's expected. She's the Bucky of the film.
Yes, most definitely. Right down to the fact that I think she's missing the same arm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one thing I did want to mention, like, I didn't notice this as much as the first one, but I pay attention a lot to like makeup and like that kind of stuff. Like, some of the stuff that they had was like looked very much like a prop. Like, you could tell it was not like Nebula's whole thing. I was like, you can tell that's plastic. You could tell that there was latex around.
Yeah, you could see when she had makeup on. You could definitely see that it was makeup. Yeah.
Giant budget. Giant budget.
I think hers was a little bit better hidden though, compared to fucking Yondu with the thing on his head.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That you could see,
if you look
like,
at her
the inconsistency in the
the metal eye is what bugged me the most because you can look at that metal eye and know that it is paint and not metal. I would have put some sort of chrome something on top of that particular prosthetic so that it actually did look like metal.
Yeah, you could have used a foil or something.
You can tell that,
considering the fact that they have access to so many different types of materials and things to use for that.
They have the budget to do that. Christine, you had something to say?
Focused on the story. Okay. Like, you know the music a lot? Okay. Oh, I just think I'm impressed by your like attention to detail with that stuff because it needs to be like Cats level bad for me to pick up on it. Like, I'm really invested in the
Wait, what?
And, like the dialogue. Oh, am I just cutting in and out?
No. You said you have to be what level bad?
I don't really notice. Cats.
Oh,
where
like
you could
Red
see
Skull?
one cat was wearing sneakers. No, Cats. The film Cats. Like Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cats, where you see actors sneakers under their cat. too.
You were saying
Oh,
Cap. I thought you meant Captain America.
No, Cap's fine. No, Cap. Like the makeup errors in that movie were like glaringly obvious. I don't notice them usually because I'm so I really focus on the music. I really focus on the dialogue and stuff. Like there's always stuff like you could see the camera in this shot. I'm like, could you? Alright, cool.
I think that's part of the benefit.
Me.
Yeah, I think that's part of the benefit of the group that we have is that, like, Margaret and I feel like focus a little bit more on like production things.
Well,
and
I don't notice it the first time around.
11.
Yeah,
that too. No, I watched Blow Up. But yeah, like that's part of my training. I did costume design and makeup as part of my, like I was required to actually sit through a makeup class and to do different things, which was, now that I think back to that class, very problematic in some aspects. Like, but like that's one of the things that I noticed. I noticed like the details like that, and I like to pick those things apart a lot of the time. Like, how did they do this?
Which makes sense.
So, like, one of my favorite experiences with Wicked, the musical, is we were sitting in the balcony and you could kind of see into the offsides. And, like, we watched one of the characters almost jump her cue because she starts going and then she's like, oh, wait, I'm not going yet. And I was just like, that's so delightful to see this.
Yeah, I would be so satisfied.
Like,
it's
even
little
people
things.
who are on Broadway do this.
I think it's also where like I really seek like the immersion in it, so I'm not trying to look for things to break my immersion.
Yeah,
I'm like trying to forget I'm a human while I'm watching this. So
see, that doesn't break the immersion for me. So
yeah, I wish I could do that, like separate, because like I'm not a book crier, for example, because like I just don't feel like I feel feelings, but I don't feel tears. Like it just doesn't happen for me because I'm not in.
For me to be crying, I have to be outright sobbing, losing it. So like no book has ever gotten me to the point that I.
Yeah,
I've shed a tear.
I don't.
When reading sometimes. But I was just filming my mid-year freakout tag, and like one of those questions is like, "What book has made you cry?" And I was like, "I'm apparently a robot because of the 60 books I've read. Nothing has made me even come close to crying this year."
I'm just a Capricorn.
I don't think it's that like necessarily I'm like more emotionally in tune. I just have a dissociation problem, so I feel like it's real. But 1 second.
I cry literally every day. So like even in books, I'm just like, oh my god, and then it just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
See, I'll cry over real life stuff. I've had several breakdowns at work where I had to like go out into my car and like I set a timer for 5 minutes and I was like, you can cry for 5 minutes and then you have to go back to work.
Everyone cries.
So like I don't cry over fictional stuff.
Well, I can cry with visual media. Like I've cried over TV shows and movies and stuff. I just can't cry with books.
Yeah.
Never.
You should watch Lucifer and watch the season finale of it. That one will make you cry.
Great. I'm not looking
I
forward to
got
that.
through The Fault in Our Stars dry-eyed. I think there is no hope for me at this point.
I mean, the thing that makes you cry is a 9-year-old, so.
No. They didn't.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Okay. See, that would make me angry.
No, it's just it's upsetting.
See, things that usually make people cry just make me angry.
I never say that.
So,
hey guys,
let's go ahead
We
and
want to talk about
the second movie. I don't have a lot of thoughts other than like what we've already said, but I do feel like they had a little bit more of a score vibe in the second movie with the music. Like some of the music was more of a score than soundtrack, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
I
think they were trying to make it more intense.
Is it just me, or was there a point at the very end where they were kind of? It felt like they were playing. No, it wasn't but it felt really similar to the Avengers, like score. Because I had to sit back and go, wait, what? Like it was really weird.
Maybe they were trying to play.
But yeah, you're right.
Or something, but
Probably.
I just felt like it was like a little bit different there, and I also feel like the humor is trying a little bit harder in the second movie.
Yeah. See, the humor was one of the only things that kind of really was interesting to me. Like the plot itself, at least the main plot, I was like, the main plot is really kind of just a little bit boring. Although it was interesting how we kind of tied into everyone's daddy issues, like everyone.
Right.
But I was just like the side things are more interesting than whatever the heck is going on with Peter on this planet.
Yeah.
You know why? You know why that is?
Yeah.
Because Peter's an asshole?
Well, yes. But everyone's done with like you can only do a genocidal megalomaniac well so many times.
Right.
And they were just warming
You're so
up
right.
for Thanos. Like it's like Ultron's different because Ultron doesn't really have like a theology or like purpose other than
Right.
strength it. So he's kind of like, you know, Loki's a bit different because he's like, I'm gonna be the king and my daddy's gonna notice me. But he goes just bad. And the gold people are just Nazis. And it's like, yeah, we watched Captain America. We get it. That's why that.
Yeah.
What was the point of them?
Still don't know.
I felt so bad. That was so cute and funny.
One of the best parts.
Oh my!
Like, so good.
The hardest part in the movie is when they were teasing Baby Groot and like pouring things on him and ganging up on him, and I was just like, "Okay, stop! I will fight all of you right now, just because no one should have to go through that." Yeah. I hated it.
I actually like. I know we talked about the cinematography of the first one, but I actually liked the cinematography of the second one, especially during the battle scenes and the action scenes. I think they were very comic book-esque, especially like when it would go like slow-mo for a second. I thought that was a really nice touch.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like the beginning sequence when Groot is dancing around, that was the best.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then also
that was cute.
In the background.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wasn't the biggest fan of the planet though, because I felt like they were trying a little too hard with like all of the colors and everything. I would have preferred something a little bit more toned down. I'm like, this is some wild shit and it makes no sense.
Yeah.
That's the straightest
I feel like
you've ever said.
What?
The straightest shit you've ever said.
Wow.
Calm down. What if you guys with the rainbow colors, all right? Come on, kids.
No, I think
Like it just felt like everywhere we were trying to do something. Everywhere we were trying to do something bright and colorful and different, and I was like, you should have focused on a couple of things, made those really good, and then like the rest of it, give us. There's too much going on for my eyes.
I think it was very reminiscent of like a techno dance party, which I think the vibe that they were trying to go for.
True. Okay, that makes sense.
That planet is one of my favorite songs in the world. So like I the chain. No, My Sweet Lord by George Harrison. Yeah. So like you can't use that song in a movie and that not be my favorite scene. So other than Southern Nights, they did Southern Nights, Glenn Campbell, and Rocket killing everybody, and that was the best scene of the movie. You can watch it.
Do we have any other movie thoughts?
I feel like I did, but I don't remember what it was.
I love in the first movie when I loved Rocket and Groot's like dynamic because they're like he's like formulating a whole plan and he's like, we just need this and you have to get the arm for this and blah blah, and you just see Groot in the background just climbing up the thing and he gets it out and everything powers down and he's like,
I love that part. It's so good.
I think
Mitchell has a question in the chat.
oh,
Who was the villain in movie one?
Ronan.
I think Ronan more just because like knowing what I know now, like it sets up for Infinity Wars.
Yeah. I like Ronan more because I just feel like he's more realistic in his mindset of like pretending to like be working for somebody, but like becoming power hungry himself.
Yeah. I think that the plot of the second one, and specifically like, we have one Guardians. Oh crap, we got signed up for the second one. Let's make something.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit into the rest of the universe like the rest of like one does.
So I have both times I've watched this, I have completely forgotten that Ronan is the villain of the first movie. And like, I would not remember that Ego was the villain of the second movie if I did not know he was Peter's father. I don't think either of these villains are very Ronan I know is setting up for something. So I understand with Ronan they're building to something at least.
Right.
But I don't think either of them are particularly strong or standout villains for me. I'm just like, because I'm already meh on villains anyways. But like, there are better villains in the MCU.
You can forgive it a little bit because you know that Ronan is just a small part of the larger.
Yeah.
I think Ego was really only introduced
exactly.
They wanted what's his name to know who his father was. I think that's really it.
Yeah. And they were just trying to
Ego serves a plot purpose for one movie specifically, and that's it, because it's not just Peter having to struggle with the issues with the parents. That also ties into Gamora and Nebula's issues. It ties into Drax a little bit. It ties into Rocket. It ties into Yondu. So that I actually like the way he's connected to everyone both ways, but I'm ambivalent on both of them as villains, partly because they don't stand out, partly because they are villains. They're just there to serve plot purposes to me. Like,
also, the Mary Poppins part got me. I was like,
is he cool?
Is he cool?
I want to know, are they making a Ravagers movie?
I watched the show yet.
Was that the plan?
Really good.
I thought it was, but
Because they have that scene.
I don't know, but either way, can we just say I love Yondu?
Yondu is the
He is such a good character. Just saying. I love him.
Yeah,
because he's so realistic. Like, that happens in real life. People have, mentors or, people who are father figures for them that kind of screw up a little bit here and there, but
well,
down,
see, it's so
they'd be sweet.
Thank you.
It's so cute the way that
Thank you too.
Because he calls, the way that he talks to Peter and like calls him boy and like, I could have eaten you, and he's like, yeah, that should not be a positive quality. But like, but then you think about you have to think about what went through his mind and like probably the trauma or that he suffered when he realized what Ego was doing to these women and to these children, and he was like, oh hell no, that's not happening. And so him, part of that was just also like him like not wanting to like truly love Peter, because if he did, then something bad could happen to him, and then that's parenthood. That's parenthood right in itself. It's just the amount of fear and the anxiety that you feel, and then knowing that he's out there and doing things, and like him just wanting to like look out for him. Full parent thing. I loved it. Feels.
Especially since he has so much trauma regarding parents in and of itself. So, like, the last thing he's going to want to do is see himself as a parent. I got an answer, possibly. This is from 2020, so maybe it changed. But it looks like they're going to be, and that's what I was thinking, that possibly they'll be in Volume 3 of Guardians of the Galaxy. And then there's the possibility of there being a Disney Plus series.
That would be cool.
Oh my God, are you seeing a picture? So,
no,
and I actually think that would be really interesting. Number one, because Michelle Yeoh's in it. So I think it's Michelle Yeoh.
We took over my pillows.
Everything. We just need more episodes of Loki.
Who said that?
All of them.
That's
Wait,
still
what?
whining, right? Okay. Like Doyle's right here, and I was like, is he whining?
Oh no, it's still Sam.
Ooh.
Okay.
What was Michelle using?
I think she's one of the Ravagers, isn't she? I want to say that was her. I might be wrong.
I am DB.
Show yo. Yeah, that was, yes. I'm pretty sure that was definitely her.
I cannot help
Yes,
you.
that is her. I was right.
What is she in?
She's in, is it Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
Oh, okay.
I've seen her in a couple of like Americanized,
Here, go away.
what's the word? Americanized Chinese films where they'll take like they'll try and do a very
You're right.
Asian drama film type thing. Let's see. Yeah. Martial arts film. There we go.
Oh, puppy.
Are you happy now, Sam?
I don't know yet.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, she's in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Okay.
I just remember because I've
Look her
seen
up.
so many trailers for that, and like she seems to be the most interesting character.
Sorry.
Right.
Like a badass lady who beats people up and can fly.
Oh,
Yes, please.
Right?
Crazy Rich Asians.
So.
I haven't watched that yet.
Oh yeah, she
Read
was.
it.
Okay, I get it.
Well,
I am terrible at remembering movies that people have been in,
Me too.
unless it has been
Yeah.
mentioned multiple times in fandom.
I'm pretty good at it actually because if I see somebody, I'm like, oh, that voice sounds familiar or that person looks familiar, and then I have to find out. So
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
do too, but then I forget.
otherwise, it will just
She's also going to be in Shang-Chi. Let me see.
What?
Shang-Chi. Or is it Shang?
Tea?
Is it Shang-Chi? What is it, Christine? Okay, it's going to be.
Very spicy drink.
I mean, if it's a chai tea, I'll drink it.
I mean,
But yes.
I'm only here to be like making jokes every 30 seconds.
There you go.
No, thank you for telling me. So, okay. Anyways, she'll be in that when that comes out. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to go see it because even though we still have businesses that say they're supposed to be wearing masks here, like I went into a restaurant that says on their website, staff are required to wear masks. You're required to wear masks when you're not at your table. No one was wearing a mask.
Oh, yeah,
They
nobody.
got 2 stars.
South Dakota. No one wears masks.
No one wears masks.
Near Tampa.
But the good news is
My mother-in-law was literally preaching to the core about how everybody should be wearing masks. The minute she gets vaccinated, no more masks. She doesn't have any masks in her car, and I'm still just like, no, I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
vaccines are helpful against the variant.
I am waiting for someone to call me out for still wearing my mask, even though the mask mandate has been lifted. I'm just waiting for that to happen because I will go into so many places that no one is wearing them, but I'm like, Delta variant, plus I can still spread it if I get it, even if I don't know I get it. So
I'm just like, I'm not vaccinated yet, but I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to be wearing this after because y'all are gross.
yes. I'll probably be wearing it like when I go to BookNet Fest in September. I will probably still be wearing my mask everywhere that is not like with people I trust and feel comfortable with. So
Well, plus I feel like my allergies and like I feel like I'm getting a cold. Like I never got a cold last
I
year
haven't.
wearing a mask, but everybody takes the mask off, and guess what? I got sick last week.
My last cold was in 2020, right as this was all starting,
Right.
and that might have been allergies. So.
Yeah.
Like it was funny. My brother got sick, and while he was here, and he knew it wasn't COVID because he went and got tested. But he was still wearing a mask in the house so that he wouldn't get the rest of us sick. And it was really funny with him at the table. Like he was like pulling it down to eat, and then he put it back up, and we were finally like, "Dude, just it's fine.
It's bad.
Eat your food and then put the mask on." We know it's not COVID. We don't care about the rest.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
I love
all right. Any more thoughts about the movies?
I like Rocket.
Rocket is
Yes,
Yeah,
Rocket is great.
So
Despite his
Anna,
I feel like you guys haven't talked enough about Rocket.
well, I
Okay,
feel
let's
some
talk
sort of way about
I love him, but then he does these really stupid things. And it's like
But to him,
Rocket.
it's the right decision. For him, it's the right choice. It's the
Taking the guy's
I'm
arm
pretty
just for
sure
fun,
he saved
though.
the universe.
But he has so much
What
money.
the fuck did Katie do?
bugs me so. That bugs me. Like, I like Rocket, except for the fact that they have given him this obsession with stealing people's like sight
Disability
aids, mobility aids. I'm just
You
like,
know what?
Yeah.
As somebody that has a disability aid, he can steal mine, okay? I would be glad to know that it would be in Rocket's more than capable paws because he's in the universe and you sound really ungrateful for his services right now. Just not watching Rock Ryan.
I just wish we hadn't
I
written
love
that into his
Rock Ryan.
character because everything else is really good. It's just like I don't know. It just feels weird when we're having so many like talks about
Think
ableism.
of the scene we got with him and Bucky because of that obsession.
I mean, that is hilarious.
How dare you? How dare you? That was a good thing.
I'm just saying.
I will
There was
really
at one
take zero
point-
criticism of Rocky Raccoon. Oh, shit.
I'm not gonna lie, there was at one point where
He's a-
Raccoon said something or where Rocket did something and said something, and I'm like, are they trying to make us have a crush on Rocket? What's going on here? And that was the first move.
Would be best friends with Rocket, but he is a raccoon and a little too hairy for my tastes.
I want Rocket to be like my brother, okay? I care a lot about him. I want him to know that he's loved.
No.
He would also be real nice because if you said you liked something that you couldn't afford,
He would steal it
he
for
would
you.
get it for you. He would steal it, and then he's a raccoon, so no one can like hold him legally responsible. What are they gonna do?
He would steal us an entire library, and he would not care.
Right?
Dude, what?
It's a very raccoon-like trait, though.
Right, yeah.
It's fair.
They will steal
but
your
if you
shit.
had to rely on one character, like if you genuinely had to put your life in the hands of one character in that band of absolute fucking fools, would you not?
Absolutely,
like, Rocket's the only
It would be
confident
Rocket
one.
1000%.
1000%. He's the only one that makes
He is the only.
attempts to stop bad things from happening.
It would be Rocket,
I think-
Nebula, Drax, and then Mantis, and then Gamora, and then Star-Lord at the very fucking bottom.
Yeah, you know,
I think that seems like Gamora, but okay. I think of all of the others, if anyone is going to have their shit together besides Rocket, it's Gamora.
Nebula
Gamora
is more
has
superior.
one job and she fucking failed. Okay? She's like, I have one job and I'm gonna ask Peter to do it instead. And then he couldn't because he can't do anything. I'm just saying, Rocket's the only one that gets the fucking job done.
And he blows stuff up while doing it.
And Thor likes him a lot. They're buddies. So,
Sweet rabbit.
sweet rabbit. Come on.
I love the fact that he's okay with being called a rabbit but not a raccoon. I'm just like,
Actually,
It's the way. It's the way Thor says it.
Yeah.
It's the way he says it.
Yeah.
It's all in. It's all in the way he says it.
true. Chris Hemsworth could call me a lot of things and I wouldn't be mad about it.
Right?
Yeah, he could call me a slug, like, you're a sweet slug, and I'd be like, thanks.
I wasn't
You're
thinking
right.
that, but okay. I'm just saying, he could insult me and I'd be like, oh, okay, thank you.
not Chris Pratt. Nope, not to me.
No.
Chris
No, thank
Pratt.
you.
Oh.
Well, we're talking about Thor.
Yeah, I thought I was talking about Thor too, but I like my Chris's to be a little less homophobic personally. So that's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Other people.
Well, I mean, we all know the superior Chris is Chris Pine. so far.
Oh no.
Oh, what has he done that I don't know about?
I don't like this game though. The superior Chris. There's only an inferior one, and it's Chris Pratt.
Wait a minute. Wait,
That's
Margaret. Chris Pine is the superior one, not America's Ass.
Well, America's Ass was very quiet last year and still supported some crap supporting things. So, as much as I like him,
I'm just
I
like
agree.
Chris
I
Pratt
agree with
like,
this.
But he's also said,
like, I think he's really.
he's also been like, you know, maybe bisexual.
middle ground. Chris Pratt.
Who, Pine?
Chris Pratt. Remember that clip that Gamora and Black Widow had?
So
I am so lost right now. I don't know which Chris we're talking about.
I like
Talking about me. I'm a superior Chris.
You know what? I agree with
Yeah,
that.
you
I would take you over any of them.
So
you,
for
baby.
the boss battles, let's talk about those. Which of the 3 playlists was your favorite to make? The
First
playlist
one,
for the
I
vibes
did.
of the Guardians, the one for Gamora and Peter, or the lullabies for Groot? Which was your favorite?
I'd say Groot, since that's the one I participated in.
I mean, that's a solid reason for it to be your favorite.
The only one I did was Star-Lord and Gamora, just because of like the time. Like I was too busy yesterday, and I couldn't do that one.
Yeah. I did the first one and the last one. I didn't do the one in the middle because I just wasn't. Like, I got home and I was like, oh, it's too late. Whoops.
Yeah, the one in the middle, I literally got home at 12 Eastern Standard Time and ended out. Like, well, okay.
I almost did today, or the most I haven't done any of them. I was going to do the most recent one because that lets you start July's books early, and one of my July books is Witch Shadow, and I want to start it, and I forgot, so I will have to be patient.
I need to actually read those
My
books
defense,
at some point.
I had to watch the movie and finish the book all before 2 today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had fun doing the little mini playlists because it was quick.
Yeah.
I was going to do all Taylor
But
Swift songs, too.
Honestly, I thought about just doing like putting a Sleeping at Last album as the whole one for the Baby Groot one because like it's such a good vibe for sleeping or mellowing, and I feel like it would be a perfect because like especially like the Atlas ones, they're like very universe oriented. I feel like it would really vibe with him.
Atlas is so
I'm just
good.
saying, so good.
Are we talking about Sleeping at Last?
Atlas, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I love Sleeping at Last.
Yeah, basically Atlas Year One was the whole album.
Yeah.
That is my recommendation for Baby Groot for his lullabies. I'm just saying.
Does it help you sleep? Because I might try it.
Right.
Margaret, have you ever tried Dr. Phil? I swear to God, I know you think crazy. It's so easy to Dr. Phil.
Oh, your
So
video was
here's
so
the problem.
fun.
I swear to God.
Here's the problem
I
with
loved
that.
it.
From what I understand and know about Dr. Phil and the little thing, I would spend so much time angry, and that doesn't help me. That doesn't help me sleep. Being angry, like I've definitely had certain people in my life say something or fight with me, like right as I'm trying to get to bed, and then it takes me an extra hour to fall asleep.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I had the most impressive skill of I could fall asleep anywhere instantly and sleep for like 10 hours straight. I could do it anywhere. And then they up the dose on my meds and it's gone now. It's gone. I'll fucking wake up at Cassie like 2. Like I'm gone. It's bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying a new melatonin supplement to see if I can get back to where, like, because my sleep hygiene has just been bad since lockdown.
My pillow, by the way.
The first one. So, But this is something I've always struggled with because of me being me. So,
yeah.
Mark,
Do we have any other boss battle?
What, Brianna?
I was like, you need to try the Sleep With Me podcast.
Ooh.
Maybe I'll try that.
It's like this very melodic. He has a very melodic voice, but it's very monotone. Puts you to sleep.
See, my problem is if anyone is talking to me at all, I cannot.
But it's a complete nonsense, so your brain doesn't follow it.
We'll try. We'll see.
Oh, Max.
I also need to get a new
call
bed. That one has a terrible back.
I'll put you back.
Why does that feel like a threat? I'll put you to bed.
Orange history.
That's like a very like Black Widow vibe. Carrie, I am also excited to start in the Ravenous Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Ow. I keep stabbing myself with my fingernail. Christine, I would be impressed if you could find history that bores me.
Yelling at me.
So do we have any other boss battle thoughts before we move on?
I mean, just a reminder that we are transitioning away from Twitter and Instagram, and that's official as of July. For most boss battle stuff, like we'll let you know. Yeah, we'll let you know if there's something that we're doing in there, like reading sprints, stuff like that, because there are still some things that make sense to do there versus on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
But like if it's something where you need to submit like a list or a picture or any of that stuff, Twitter and Instagram are the places to go.
And before we do talk about the group book, do we want to do the announcements for the things?
We do, and I'm still mad. I don't know what I did with the freaking book for God, whatever month it is.
Let me find. I can't remember what the item is. Hang on.
Like, it's in here somewhere.
Have we decided the items?
Hang on. We would just be announcing the July item, yeah. So I'm just trying to remember which one it is. I remember. Never mind.
Okay, I'll let you announce because I do not remember.
So the book for next month is A Song of Wraith and Ruins, or Wraiths and Ruins, and we will be reading this
Wraith and Ruin.
next month.
So confusing.
And the item is going to be the Space Stone, the blue one, the Space Stone, the one that was in the Tesseract.
Yes.
Okay. Then August book is The Midnight Library. And then September book is The Things She's Seen by Amblin and Ezekiel Quamelena. Dun, dun, dun.
And Amazon has it on sale for like $3 right now, I think.
Yeah, go get it today.
Nice.
Instead of waiting. Because
Like new
$3.
No, it was used. But like I think I paid for shipping, but it still was cheaper than the new one. And it says it was in very good condition, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it when I like it when I lose books. Especially when I know they're in my room.
Christine.
Did you find it? We also lost Christine.
I know, right? I was like somewhere in the midst of that transition.
You probably went to find my book.
Okay, any other things that we need to do before we...
I think those were like the announcements.
Yeah, I think that's everything other than the book, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This be what we read. That one.
I actually liked it, despite the fact that I thought there was a minute where I was going to have to unfriend Brianna. But that's okay.
Why were you going to unfriend me?
Because you just tell me how it ends. What?
I did not recommend this book.
I said, who recommended the book?
I don't know. I thought it was you.
I read the last line.
It wasn't me.
Even though I'm 29.
I don't even
I'm
know.
only 29 pages in.
But you read it.
But
You
I
read
the
it,
last,
and you.
like 4 lines.
I've
just
read
saying.
it, you guys, this month. I've not read it before.
Someone in this group has read this before.
No.
Was it Christine?
Maybe Christine.
I don't think it. I don't think it was
Okay.
Christine.
I don't think anyone.
I don't know. Maybe none of us had read it before. Who knows? I
That
don't
would
know.
be really funny.
It was one of you.
I would not have recommended this book. Well, it was definitely
Apparently.
teacher.
Somebody suggested it, but I don't remember who it was. But I know it wasn't me.
Was
Yeah.
it someone?
All I know.
I don't even know.
Maybe it was someone in the Discord group that mentioned.
I don't know. I don't know at this point. I just remember there was a point I was
That
like,
happened.
is this a retelling of my least favorite Shakespeare play? Because I was about to be real mad.
So, what did everybody
No.
end up rating? I haven't set my rating yet because I haven't written up my review, but it's probably going to be like a 4 or a 5, to be honest. Probably a 4.
I gave
Probably
it
a 4.
I gave it 3.5 and rounded up to 4.
That's funny. If I were to do half stars, I would give it 3.5, but I rounded down to 3 just because the only thing that really grabbed me was the romance. Like I understood the purpose of everything else, and I didn't feel it was lacking, but for the most part, it was mostly just okay to me, except in the fact that we had this relationship with these two people.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
I can see that.
For me,
I have thoughts.
I'm only 29 pages in, but I read the last few lines because I was like, well, I want to know what happens.
I really liked the ending.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait, did I?
I think it's beautiful. I would probably rate it like a 4-star just because I do really love the writing and like the affection of it. I'm just like, this is gorgeous and beautiful. It makes me feel things. Like if a girl was writing me poetry, this is what I would want to read, you know?
Yeah.
There was a line that was talking about pain towards the end. Like there were just I didn't highlight any of them because I was just reading it, but like there were so many lines in here that I was just like, that is how you write a sentence.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I may be changing
what's
my
your rating?
I think I gave it 3.5 stars. I agree that the prose was beautiful, like so beautiful. But I think for me, like I wasn't. I don't know if I found it believable. Not in like the time space sense.
Yeah.
Sure, fine, whatever. But like I feel like if I don't know, it felt like weird that they would fall in love after like no real contact and like they are so indoctrinated by their side. Like it just felt iffy to me.
I feel like so. Yeah, I bought it towards the end. I think at the beginning, like they were talking about love sooner than I would have. I would have liked to see just a little bit more progression, like because I think things maybe moved a little bit too quickly. Like I liked the relationship. I liked how it kind of like what it was touching on, but I would have liked like maybe 50 more pages to give that a little more room and maybe give some of the world building a little more room because I do have to admit that or acknowledge that was a little bit lacking.
It suffered there, yeah.
So I think that it suffers because it's a novella. Because I think you could have a short story with just the letters back and forth and just kind of show that love story blossoming and the reader would know that there's chunks that's missing in between. Or it needed to be a 400-page with world building and like more of a character development.
Which I think I need to love characters. I don't think I can love characters that quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like that's so I don't like novellas because especially if you're doing like a fantastical or sci-fi novella, like you can't get into the world. I have no very light room syndrome.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I liked the tone a lot and I liked the writing style. But I think it was Brianna messaged in the group chat and was talking about how she wished it was longer or shorter, like just the letters, or longer, because it was confusing at times a little bit.
So yeah, I think with the world building, she gave us
just
either a little too much or a little too little.
Exactly.
Like you're sitting
where it would have made a little bit more sense, or because like if you don't have as much, then you're able to ignore, like not get distracted by it as easily or confused by it as easily. But if you have, if you had more there, then you would understand what's going on, and that would be fine too. But being in between the two didn't work as well.
I didn't understand why everyone wouldn't want Garden. Why would you want the cyber trash reality when you could like literally be in a future that was just a fucking everyone's freaking growing up in a pot? Like, excuse me, I want to be a farmer child. They sound like they'd have so much be so much psilocybin there, they get wicked high all the time. It sounds amazing.
Christine.
It really does.
It's because the right will never die.
You're right. Not everybody's
no.
But, yeah, I feel like
there are people out there that want power more than they want. Okay, keep going, Bree.
I feel like it would have also helped with the relationship development if it had been the world building either added to or cut back. Like if it had been a longer book, then we would have had more time to do that. Or if it had been shorter, then or not shorter, but like less world building, then you would have had the space to fill in with more relationship stuff. So I feel like you could have done either way, would have balanced out the relationship problem too.
My thing with the world building is there are places where I saw her so all we really needed to know was that this was a time war and that they're on opposite sides and they're going back and forth. There were some places where it almost started to get detailed about stuff and it raised more questions than it answered. And I think that leaves the reader feeling unsatisfied. I didn't mind all that much because I recognized really quickly that the main thing is these two people kind of having this back and forth. So it's about these characters and this back and forth, and that's the relationship. And so everything else gets pushed to the sidelines, and like we don't need to, like, none of that other stuff is important. But I do think if you're going to raise those questions and you're going to have some of that detail, you need to consider, am I raising questions I'm not going to answer in a story? Because that's going to leave people going, hold up.
It left me feeling kind of dumb. Because it would raise those questions like you're saying, and I'm like, did I miss explanation? Like, it's only a 4-hour audiobook, right? So I'm like, in 4 hours, did I miss this much? And I was like, no, they just introduced it.
I honestly thought that I fell asleep during some of the audio.
Yes.
We just jumped so quickly, and I was like, did I just completely disassociate?
I had that same experience.
Yeah. I feel like reading it physically was helpful in that way.
Probably,
listening to it probably would have thrown you, because like when you're looking at it on paper, you can see the breaks.
And so you can reread it more easily.
It felt like associating.
Also, I think having
really did.
I also think having if the chapters for each character, like not the letters but the chapters, had strand such and such, blah blah blah, and a time period. I think that would have also helped place the reader a little bit.
I agree.
So and then I also think that we shouldn't have brought up love until that moment where Blue saves Red. Because I think that's the moment where we kind of realize what's going on. We needed that.
That would have been a sweet spot right there.
Because we had in the letters the moment where they realized, but we didn't see it from the character's point of view the moment they realized. I think we needed a little bit more of that in the actual character's POV.
Right.
So, I think she tried to backtrack and explain some of that at the very, very end with kind of having that Sleeping Beauty comparison. But I don't think that it, a lot of its stuff was seated. I don't think that was particularly well seated in the beginning of the story.
Guys, guess what? Two of the most beautiful women in the world are in my house.
I didn't know you were friends with Tessa Thompson.
That's fucking good. You picked the right person to say that. I was like, oh.
Fair.
That's a good one.
I know you well, Christine.
She didn't say the, of the.
Hello to two of the most beautiful women in the world.
Margaret
Christine can't hear me.
Is Emma
Hi. Hello.
Emma's the one that tattooed the tea bag to my arm.
Oh, nice. So as far as like, what did we think of that final letter? Like the way that Rap like ended the book.
I forget it.
I really do too.
I read it so long ago.
It was
I think the ending was really good. I think it was
I
a
think that was, like, the
satisfying
strongest
conclusion.
it was satisfying.
Yeah, it was a satisfying
Yeah, and-
conclusion. It wasn't too nice and neat, but it was satisfying.
Yeah.
You know, it was like a messy, like,
Yeah.
you know, struggle to the end.
I
It
like
wasn't
how it-
like too easy, but it was like
yeah, it doesn't like
enjoyable.
we see the end of the action without actually having to see the end of the action. I appreciated that because we know exactly, like we've had enough experience with these characters. We know exactly what's going to happen next.
Right.
So I also that's what I was expecting. I was like, who's
Yeah,
going to
and
come save her?
Sometimes in the end of a book, I feel like, you know, when you know what's going to happen at that point and it's like the resolution or like the climax and the resolution right after it has kind of already happened, and then they kind of continue to explain in depth what's going on, getting to the very final point, you know, it's like you kind of rush through it trying to just get to the end, you know. So we didn't experience that here. It was kind of like
They knew exactly when to cut it off, which I appreciate.
They gave us enough to get on board with them and get on the right page, but not so much that it was like dragging it out.
Yeah.
I'm just really enjoying seeing Christine's gestures.
You were talking about golden retrievers.
It was just you were gesturing very passionately, so it had to be something.
Well, we were talking about how like sometimes the really white golden retrievers are stupid and you shouldn't get them. And so if anyone has a white English cream golden retriever in this chat, full offense intended. And yeah.
I mean, the one nice thing about them is they will literally lay out on the ground in front of you so that you can pet them. So if you want to have a dog, you can pet at all times.
That's just Doyle.
I was going to say, all dogs. You don't need a dog.
It's not all dogs.
Yeah, but like
I mean, the one English cream that I have met spent her entire walk walking up to every stranger, which means she is probably dumb as shit, lying down and rolling over so you could pet her.
I would
That's
not
what the owner told me.
That. That's absolutely not the point of it.
Yeah, I know. Like, that's bad training, but still.
I mean, I'll be honest. Shotzi tries to do that when we go to Home Depot.
Yes, but Shotzi will knock people over if she tries to roll over in front of them.
Shotzi's in that period of training where she thinks that all humans are the coolest thing on the planet and that they all want to be her friend.
Cassie only thinks they're cool if they throw a ball for her. She has absolutely no time for you if you're not playing fetch. She doesn't give a shit.
This one's that thinks that everybody.
I appreciate that.
Oh,
that's a very
everybody is my friend. Everybody wants to love me.
But I think that Shotzi should be allowed to do that though, because Shotzi means treasure, and I think she's just being like, "Yes, you found me."
That's exactly what she is. You found me, and she'll probably go do therapy work. So I'm fine with it.
Teddy.
Here's Ted.
That's so funny.
Yes. Look at that
Oh.
under there.
Elaine, you should get
so much. So much flute.
There's one on screen. Where? Keep him on there. Keep him on there. This is Teddy.
Oh, hello. What a cutie pie.
You should get one.
I should.
That's a good Toronto dog.
That is a good Toronto dog. Yeah. Okay. Sold.
And
Dark-
he's half long hair, half short hair, so he's just a giant floof.
Perfect. I do like the long hair ones a lot, but I also love the classic like short hair.
Yeah.
His coloring is my favorite for dachshunds.
Oh yeah, he's super pretty. He's a pretty boy.
I don't
The
love
only
the merle ones.
The only downside
I like
of
the
having
red
a dog is that hair gets on everything. And in everything. Like, there was so much hair in my fridge. I'm like, why? She doesn't even hang out.
Listen,
Shotzi's blowing her coat
Let
right
me-
now, and it's the puppy coat, so it's just like the balls of
Soft.
fluff.
Oh yeah.
And, like, I had to go wash my sheets today because I got up and like there's just dog hair just filled everywhere. And I'm just like, oh, please be done.
Yeah.
I like to say that Briar
Let
leaves clouds.
Yes, that's literally.
Clouds.
So I bought a Furminator.
Schnauzers shed very, like, they'll drop a hair here or there, but let me tell you the thing about Schnauzer hair. It is tough as nails, and you will find it embedded in your skin. Like, I've had, like, I'm like, oh my God, is there a piece of glass in my foot? And I looked down, I was like, it's a piece of Susie's hair. That's what
Margaret,
it
I saw the ugliest off-standard, like apricot schnauzer, miniature schnauzer, and it was the color of your hair, and I was like, that's not okay. And I like,
And you didn't take a picture?
I think I looked at it, had acid reflux, and exited out of Facebook.
I
was like, you would have shit your
that
pants.
I think, and I also saw a Schnauzer that they took to a groomer and they cut them like a Cocker Spaniel. And I was like, that is a hate crime. You should get your money back.
Oh, is that the one where they trimmed him real short and then he had the feathers?
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure that's where you could see. Okay, so
Yes. It was
you're actually not supposed to shave schnauzers at all.
You're not supposed to
Like,
shave
because
most
of
dogs.
most dogs.
Yeah.
If you're not poodle, you shouldn't shave them. That's the rule.
So,
if you're a poodle or doodle, don't shave them.
Yeah.
Done.
End of
The
story.
thing about schnauzers is the way they want you to maintain their coat. It's something called stripping, and that takes hours. You can, if you use the right clippers, you can get the schnauzer look without going too close. But that dog was cut way too short.
down and like blending it. And,
Yeah, you've gotta blend it in with the feathers.
You just kind of let them get fluffy.
yeah.
Yeah, but see,
I just-
that
I
was
just-
also me as a schnauzer owner. I got tired of the feathers because they kept matting, and I was just like, I can't get you to sit still to groom, so we're keeping these super short.
Yeah.
Also valid.
Like, if you were trying to brush her, Susie was not about it.
Don't eat my chair.
Some dogs just don't.
Yeah. Like,
Speaking
she
of
wasn't as bad as when you
animals-
tried to cut her nails.
They used an animal to pass a letter. That was
Multiple times.
yeah. That was probably the.
Okay, can somebody clear something
were
up to
so
me about the
late.
letters? Because I'm
Yes,
actually
what about the letters?
I think. And like I said, this book made me feel like I was dissociating. Were the letters actual letters, or were they written in things?
I'm pretty sure they were written
So they
in
were-
things.
Yeah. They were
It was
like
like
in things.
However, I do agree, some of the things did not make sense for them to be written in. Like,
Like,
one of the ones I'm like,
wasn't it
how did you write a letter to Shooting Star?
I just didn't
How did
get
you do that?
every time they say it, I'm like, is this a metaphor, or do I not understand?
I
Yeah,
thought they
like
were
the-
using magic.
Yeah, it was a
Technology.
But that's the thing. Like, it wasn't the magic system or the technology was not explained.
Right. It wasn't explained enough to make sense.
Like
So
the
it was
first
like
one, it
however
sounded
that
like-
worked
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
confusing.
Oh, I just was like, oh, okay, we have the technology to be able to do stuff like this. But there were a few things that I
Right.
was like, this doesn't make sense. Like, how do you get, I mean, I understand, but how do you get a letter in a Shooting Star?
Wasn't one of
Like,
them
some of these things, like-
strawberry? Like a berry, and then she ate the berry, and I'm like,
Yeah, she was and when she ate it, then she like did she hear it in her
I just
head?
as-
Did she see them
I
when she
just
closed
assumed
her
it was, like-
eyes?
Some
Like,
sort of
I-
code?
Was this book designed? Like, I feel like maybe the authors were getting together, they were hanging out, maybe they were on an acid trip, and they came up with the idea.
It really feels like there were hallucinogenics involved. Like that's the kind of train of thought you have when you're high on shit like that. Where you're like, what if you put a letter in a curry and then you ate it and then you
put it in your head? Yeah, exactly. And yeah.
I'm pretty sure one time when I was on mushrooms and I was on the phone with Elaine, I was just like, oh, I get it. You guys are all a dream. And then Elaine's like, cool.
I read this book while high.
Reading
would you understand it more if you read it?
You're assuming a lot of me if you think I can read while I'm high. I'm pretty sure I was also
not necessarily mean mushrooms. I mean, even if you were just high.
Like slightly buzzed.
Like
marijuana doesn't have that effect on me though. Like
even edibles?
Edibles just make me like giggly. Yeah, I don't have like I don't have I only get that right with mushrooms right now.
Gotcha.
But mushrooms then it's too intense. Whereas like I was like the walls.
You need like some sort of middle ground where like you could still read, and then maybe if you were on that same plane of thinking that they were,
I need to like microdose, like just a low enough dose, because the times that I said that stuff, I put myself into like a bit of a mushroom coma, but like because I just didn't measure before I ate them, but which was really smart. But yet no, this was like I could not have read because I remember I was watching RuPaul. And the screen was waving, and I'm like, I have to go back. So, like, and then I ended up got a pop up on my computer, and I looked at it for 20 minutes because I was like,
oh God, my brain does that just by itself.
Yeah, but the letters were dancing. Like,
that's the thing. Like, you don't think you're doing it, and you think you're doing things.
Yeah, and then it's like,
Christine, you need to watch Soul while you're high.
Soul.
Oh,
we did that
because
you told us to. We did that, and then we were like, "This is too smart," and turned on Alice in Wonderland.
Wow.
But if you get to the part where it's like all blurry and like
we did.
Sorry, off topic tangent, but
no, but we definitely did. And then we watched Alice in Wonderland. And I like never liked Alice in Wonderland as a kid. I was like, this is stupid. And then when I was high, I was like, oh yeah, she's going through what I'm going through.
Maybe the book is the same way.
I'm pretty sure that's because the author was high.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
it's literally like she's literally like going through a trip. And it's pretty funny.
I think that this book would have done better as a TV series.
Yeah.
Even a movie, I would have worked.
Well, because if you think about like if some sort of visual media, then you don't have to explain the world as much.
Yeah. Right. You would have been able to see or hear what they were seeing or hearing, or
you're immersed in it. Then you can
see how the tech works.
Right. But like because
I just went in expecting minimal world building. I got more than I was expecting.
But
I feel like that's why I was able to rate it a 4. Because I wasn't like, and again, like by the first little bit, if I kind of expect what the author is going to be focusing on, then I kind of am able to like take my attention off of the things that may not be as well done enough to enjoy and focus on that thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So I feel like that kind of helped me to enjoy the
Margaret and I were
writing and the relationship a bit more.
Yeah.
I can't,
because I'm used to like not having all of the answers because I read comics. So,
but you know what? I did that with the writing. Like I by the second half of it, I was like, just focus on like the prose, because the prose was like the prose was like 6 stars, like beautiful.
Focus on the prose. Focus on the 2 characters and their relationship to each other. That was all. Like that was what I went in expecting. Like. It's going to be these 2 people. That's the main thing, is them falling in love. Don't worry about the world building. Don't worry about whatever. There was something else that I was thinking of. So I went in expecting that and knowing that that was what was going to happen. So I don't think like it exceeded that expectation, honestly, when it came to we got a little bit more about Garden and the agency than I thought we were going to get. But I also think some of what we got did hurt the fact that we only get minimal amounts.
Yeah. I want to know how babies are raised in like pea pods. Somebody fucking.
Oh, see, I don't care about that.
Nope, that's the only part
I would have
that really resonates with me. I was like, how?
I would have liked a little more about the technology behind the letters, I think, and a little bit more about the two organizations, because I don't think that the organizations were very clear. So all I knew was they were, but like
rivals.
It didn't hurt the story for me, but all I knew is that they were rivals.
Right.
But I don't even
and then I figured out that this
military one. I don't care about that.
What?
I only want to know about Garden. That's what I want to live.
Christine.
It's not.
Christine will turn you into a tree and plant you, and you can live in it in your second life. You'll just do like me and Brianna and Max.
And Merritt.
And Merritt.
We're all just going to have a haunted forest.
Oh,
yeah, we're all gonna go on Merritt's plot of land, and we'll be the haunted forest.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't want anything to do with that. Sorry.
The haunting?
No, I would like you to throw me into a fucking body of water and just let my corpse be a body of water. Thank you.
Oh, so we're going with like.
I don't know that we can do that technologically.
Yeah, I don't care about the legality of it.
So we're gonna steal your body, put you on a little rafty thing, a little floaty, and some coins and stuff.
No. Don't even bother with making a raft. Just take like a tarp and dump me.
Okay, Dexter.
The way my grandmother's ashes were scattered is technically not legal. So
somebody has to catch you. She was to be a problem.
Me standing at the shore. She
my
was
already
dead.
I mean, it's not Christine's problem. She'll be dead.
And we have been told that when my father dies, some of his ashes are to be taken to Pebble Beach and scattered on the golf course there.
Except I want you to like my body to like a crocodile.
Your dad wants to haunt a golf course.
At least it's not Disney. I feel like Disney is in fact a problem.
Feed me to a snake.
That'd be another level.
No, ew, gross.
Inject me with like heavy narcotics, right? I'm almost dead, but not so dead that a snake will be like, mm-mm. Take me to where someone with a really big snake. Feed me the snake.
Would you be okay with being fed to an alligator? Because absolutely. I can't arrange that.
I love alligators.
Okay, I can
do an alligator.
I can do that.
We sent in the chat was like the big guy that just like plops on someone's front yard.
So what I will do is I will put you in the Everglades, where we have pythons and alligators, and one of them will take care of your body.
Done. Do you know how efficient that is? Done. And honestly, like, I think reptiles are so cool, and sharks too. They're so cool. If one of them ate me, I'd be freaking honored. So,
how far have we fallen?
I just want to go back into the earth.
Get me.
The way natural things are meant to do.
No, don't let maggots get me. Don't, Margaret. Look me in the eye. Don't let the maggots get me. Feed me to a reptile that deserves me.
Christine, you know we're already going to be old as fuck, right? How the fuck are we supposed to transport you to the
Christine,
world?
I was sitting here thinking that, and I wasn't going to say it.
That might put a slight hitch in the alligator plan, because they do let you rot a bit first, which means that there are probably going to be bugs in your corpse. So I might have to just murder you and put your warm body in front of a python.
Please do. Like, I'm okay with this outcome. Like, this doesn't disturb me.
Would that be murder or assisted suicide?
Pull off a murder, just saying. I really don't.
Oh, I believe Capricorn can pull off a murder. I think if any, I think I'm like, I'll talk, right? I'm like, yeah, whatever, who cares? But I feel bad. I think Capricorns can absolutely switch the part of their brain off and become ruthless. Easy.
It would not be.
No, you could do it.
It wouldn't be a violent murder.
I think that maybe she could definitely come up with a plot.
I think she could.
I
can help you hide the body. I did take a course in that.
I think if the
but
human
no,
body...
what?
No, wait, what?
What? What?
What are Florida
What?
University doing?
Instead of Florida man, it's Florida woman.
Tell me you're from Florida without telling me you're from Florida.
So first off, I would not actually violently murder you. I would hand you a pill and a glass of water and let you do it yourself. And then we would go find a snake while you're dying.
I believe I could push enough buttons. If there's any sign I'm confident would kill, it's Capricorns.
I mean, I would for the right motivation.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not against killing in self-defense.
If that day that it was like the Instacart day or the Scribd day, and I was the human embodiment of Instacart or Scribd, you would have killed me. And if I was saying, you would have killed me. Yep.
But
there's quite a few Gemini serial killers, so I mean,
that's true. There are.
The course, I was obsessed with the show Bones at one point, and so I took Forensic Anthropology 101 because I needed an elective to finish off my degree. And also my roommate was taking it.
I had a friend that was also obsessed with Bones.
Yeah. The professor literally introduced it as How to Hide a Body 101.
Oh my God. My professors were like, here's the history of this thing.
Don't you plant like an endangered plant on top of the body?
What?
Don't you plant an endangered plant species on top of the body?
Oh, that's
that
smart.
way they can't dig.
They're smart.
Never bury a body in my backyard because Cassie will find it. It's not a good location.
Doyle will definitely find it.
Yeah. That's fine. They do be digging. They do be dogs.
Yes. Specifically, if you did it under our deck, like bad spot.
There's just spots, where dogs are like, I'm going to dig through the earth. And in this one spot, like Cassie can fully disappear into some of those holes back there.
We have one hole that we have reburied over the course of now. Let's see. Well, Sherlock and Watson did it first, then Sasha, then Zephyr, now Doyle, and it's been every single time we fill it back up and put poop in it. Everything. Nope. There's still that one spot. Like, there's something down there.
Maybe you need to call the cops. Be like, hey, I think a serial killer used our backyard as a burial ground.
I'm pretty sure there's a dog buried somewhere in my backyard, so that could be why. But
that's sad.
Man, dogs die. They get old and die. It wasn't like a dog was murdered.
Buried all over the United States.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was just like
dogs are going to still exist. Last night we were talking about how most dogs are cremated these days, and so in a 1,000 years they're going to be like, "Why was it in the 21st century there were no dogs?" Because we're not going to have any dogs.
Oh man,
Christine, your face was exactly what we were like.
You're gonna have to see. This is why I don't think I'll let my dogs die at the vet. I think I'll be like, I'll take them home against your best wishes and figure it out myself, because I don't want them taking their bodies from me. I want to have a full day to lie and hold them. And yep, no, and then I'll bury them the way I see fit.
I mean, they offered to let us.
Christine's crazy
when we had her
coming out.
Nobody.
We just
nobody's taking Cassie from
had
me.
no.
Cassie's gonna live forever.
I don't know how things are in Canada, but they do offer to let you have the body here.
They don't here.
So
no, they don't.
Okay, but when you said Cassie's gonna live forever, now I'm thinking about church.
Yes. If anyone, wait, have you seen my bag of teeth?
What?
Oh,
you're what?
He's gonna clone Cassie.
Oh no.
Okay, hold on.
Oh no.
She's out here saying that I am the most likely to murder someone, and she has a bag of teeth.
Yeah.
I didn't say you're the most likely. I said
Oh, God.
Capricorns are the most likely to snap and murder people. Y'all have very specific expectations. Here's my bag of teeth.
Okay.
I can clone. Like, how many are there in there? How many Cassies can I get? All right.
Okay, buddy.
Oh my God.
Okay, so here's the thing. So every time you clone one, you get a litter of them. So let's pretend that Cassie was a litter of 8. So let's pretend that every litter would be like average 8. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 88 Cassies. I will never not have a Cassie.
But
That's so weird.
Money. But you won't have any money.
It will be worth it, Brianna.
That's so weird because, like, I don't remember. We got Susie at 8 weeks. And I don't remember her losing any teeth.
Most dogs swallow
Like, at all.
Most dogs swallow them.
Yeah, I've never found any.
I don't have any of Briar's. Briar swallowed all hers, but Cassie freaking spit them out and batted them around like a. Also, I did pull out 2 of Cassie's with tweezers, but I did.
On purpose?
I'm pretty sure Cassie's still teething because I came home to my bar stool completely chewed up.
Neat.
Yeah. Love that for me.
Susie chewed one of my books. That was the only time I ever left my book on the floor downstairs when she was a puppy ever again.
I don't think we would have been able to find Teddy's teeth.
I think it was either it had to have been. It was either Zephyr or Doyle.
Well, now I'm mad because I want to come with Susie.
Destroyed all of my black books that are signed.
He has like the littlest teeth on planet Earth.
Oh, I remember that happening.
Yeah. I can't remember if it was Zephyr.
No, those are the same.
Oh,
that's funny. And you spent the time for those.
You want him to bite my hand? I love it when dogs mouth on my hand. I find it so pleasant. Unless I don't like the dog, then I'm like, I will kill you. But if I like the dog,
his front little teeth are the tiniest thing ever.
It's so cute. Cassie,
those front little babies, so little.
When Cassie gives you kisses, she goes in like.
That's funny.
I can't even show you the bottom ones. The bottom ones are so tiny.
Okay, we have gotten way off topic. Do we have anything else about the book we want to talk about?
I don't have any.
Like, I can definitely see why people like this so much.
Yeah, and like I said, I did really enjoy it, but I had to separate myself from trying to understand the world because it wasn't going to happen. Mm-hmm. Like, I had to accept that I was not going to understand it.
That's the thing. Yeah. I think you like it's supposed to be. If you like novellas, I think that you would like this book. If you need world building books, this is not going to work for you.
Right.
And I don't. And I think it was supposed to be just little vignettes and snippets of what was going on. I just think that some of the information we were given was too much for the purpose of the story.
Right.
Yeah. So.
You going to cult?
Anyways.
All right. Well, just a reminder.
Anything else?
Please.
If you ever want a clone of Cassie, the answer is no.
Christine, if I was not allergic and I asked for a clone of Cassie, what would
I was talking to the chat, Margaret. You can have a clone of Cassie.
I don't want a clone of Cassie because I don't want her and Schmidt to know each other.
I'm gonna side with you on that one. We all know what doodle combo is the most cursed. So
what if we get to the point that we can clone dogs and make them fully hypoallergenic? Then I could get a Cassie.
That's not a clone then.
No, but like
that's a genetic modification for the behaviors of Cassie. You would just take Cassie's brain and put it in a hypoallergenic dog.
Here's the thing. I don't think you would end up with the same Cassie brain. You would end up with variations on a Cassie brain for each clone.
You would. Yeah. They'd all be girls, though.
So,
which is good.
Anyway,
I think we have spiraled into a completely different chat, but it's fine. It's still a good conversation.
Bree, don't you love it when you invite us onto your channel?
You know, like honestly, like the first time was so much like less off topic. And then as we've gone,
you had an entire list of notes.
But also, it's true. But also, like as we've gone, we've continued to get less and less focused. I think that part of it is just like the mid-year craziness.
Ultron.
Specifically,
Ultron.
Ant-Man.
Christine, why are you smiling like that?
That's what it
Why
was.
am I smiling like that for Ultron?
That looks like a threat, Christine.
It is.
That looks like people should be worried.
It looks like they should, shouldn't they?
Including the rest of us.
Yeah. Pretend that Ultron is me, and you guys stole my bag of teeth.
What?
I would never deprive you of having
little sense, but okay.
I don't know how to answer.
That's what the boss battle's gonna be like.
What's the other movie?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. And which order are they in?
Ultron.
The order, the order that we
because when you think about Ant-Man, Falcon's an Avenger. So
and this is our book next month. I'm excited.
I'm excited to read that.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
just excited to sit and stare at this cover for like 5 hours before I
just
actually start reading.
cover and it doesn't shimmer like that. So I can't
Like,
use
I'm
this
just
for multi-chrome color.
That's gonna be one of those boss prompts for me.
I think it could be a holographic cover.
It's
really good.
This is foiled. Holographic will reflect rainbows.
Yes.
I feel like this could fit for the chrome, but not the holographic.
I'm gonna use a boss battle prompt for that prompt, no matter what.
Okay. You mean a boss battle reward?
Yeah, unless somebody drops a multi-chrome book into my hand tomorrow, that's one of the ones that's gonna go. Because
I still have a Loki.
Here's a holographic.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good book. That's actually a good book if you like time travel and lesbians.
This is on my
I
TV.
do.
What is this?
This is on my
Brianna and I go, for what did you say?
Well, actually, okay, not time travel. It's alternate universes and lesbians.
Even better.
It was
somebody
time
travel.
It didn't change our excitement level.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Okay.
That's one of my books for my TBR.
Okay, maybe
somebody gave it to me, but the relationships, like the way you end with the relationship, didn't satisfy me, so it went. But like it's a really good book.
I remember someone talking about it like a few years ago, and like some people really, really loved it, and some people
yeah. So it is interesting. So if you're looking for sapphic books,
3 years this month.
All right.
I will have been on BookTube for 4 years in October.
It's so much older than me.
Everybody's like, please can we end this live show?
For me.
Maybe how many?
3 in October.
Like technically my channel's birthday is the 4th of July, but I wasn't a booktuber until January of the following year.
You are coffee and bullet journals only, exclusively.
No. It's actually called Morning Coffee and Truth, I think.
Truth? Like
it was. I just watched one of your newer intros the other day. A new intro came in. It was really groovy.
You should not watch old videos.
I love you, Bree.
But it's so fun.
Bree is the real MVP for
I am getting to know you on a new level when I watch all your old videos.
Please just ignore the terrible lighting in my early videos. I didn't know what I was doing.
Ignore the fact that
it was also a struggle. Yeah.
I was in the closet, unhappily married, and I didn't know what a microphone was.
Still don't have a microphone.
I take it back. Even when I knew what I was doing with lighting, it was still a struggle. So some of those have been privated.
I think if you watch my early videos, the in the closet energy is like pretty high. Like
in the closet and the trying to girl. And like I'm in a happy marriage. I go back and watch some of those, and my like the register of my voice is like 2 octaves higher because I'm so happy.
This is what I thought about the Hope for Unwanted Girls by Joanna Goodman in my first video ever, which somehow still keeps getting more views than my new ones. Who knows why?
Oh, I have some of my really old bad ones that keep getting reviews because getting views because it's a review of like an older, like a book that not a lot of people talk about. Right, I feel like I've always known you were bi though.
Yeah,
and I followed you pretty early on.
No, but I wasn't actually out until November of 2019.
Teddy, you cannot have this.
Okay, that explains it.
The Canadian just
take
came
my
out
paper
real hard.
towels.
Where?
When he said out, it was like
out?
Very Canadian.
Oh yeah, that's very Canadian.
My cover's been blown.
You might as well have just said a boot.
Wait, because this one I say a all the time, and I know I sound Canadian sometimes, but no one says a boot. We say about.
Shut the fuck up.
I have definitely heard Canadians that you can tell when they're tired in vlogs, and I think you're one of them, Christine. You can tell when they're tired in vlogs and videos because they'll say about and it'll go towards the ooh. Like it's not a ooh sound, but it'll go.
Yeah, it's not like an American.
The exception of Alex has ever said a boot, and I've lived here. I know. We say about. And we say sorry.
I think that part of it is like we hear the difference, and so then Americans exaggerate it.
It's okay, Christine. I'm from
the
Midwest, okay? I'm from
and so
Midwest.
it's like so they hear.
I know something different.
They hear that there's
about differently.
We hear that you're not saying about.
You literally just did it
like
in a recent video, my love.
Okay, and so then it's therefore special.
Say about right now. All 4 of you.
About.
Wow.
Comment if you tell a difference.
I am not saying it happens every time. I'm saying we can just tell you're tired because the Canadian comes out.
I say a lot of Canadian things, all right? Every time somebody holds the door for me, I run through and go, sorry, thank you. But like, that's just not one of them. That one's a myth.
I thought that was just part of being a cis woman.
Different parts of Canada.
Oh.
Because
Newfoundland, no one speaks like anyone else. If you want to go to the most specific, strangest accent, Newfoundland has a very specific dialect. But they also weren't part of Canada until 1949. But
we don't claim them.
Wait, who were they then?
They were like their own thing under the British Empire.
Yeah.
History.
So Britain was just consolidating.
Britain was like, we can no longer afford this. We have just experienced a very large war. And Canada was like, fishery money? We take.
We'll take it.
We have that.
Another province under the trench coat.
Yes. Yes. No, and then the other thing I know we say weird is Toronto. Like if you saw the word Toronto, you'd be like Toronto. We say like Toronto. And I know we say that weird.
See, to me, that's just being very, very comfortable in saying that word a lot because I feel like for Americans, when we say Toronto, like we're not used to saying it. Like, but there are states and stuff that we have absolutely butchered how it's supposed to be said.
That's how you say Toronto, right? Like you should pronounce the T's that are there, and we're just like Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto. You want to go to Toronto?
I mean, that's like New Orleans versus NOLA.
No, but that even makes that NOLA, New Orleans, Louisiana. That's what that stands for. NOLA makes sense.
But I know.
It's not.
Like there are people that'll.
There'll be some people that say
there are like 6 different ways to pronounce New Orleans.
Yeah, and then
Like
Nolans.
6 different.
I think Nolans is the one where that's like more like Toronto.
Nolans. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Christine sounds like my bird.
What do you mean?
I hate birds.
Watch out, Jessica. You're going to be kicked from the chat. I'm kidding. I wouldn't let you.
I hate birds.
She literally trains her dogs ducks. So
Yeah.
I think Christine might secretly be a Herondale.
I also don't like birds.
You what?
I don't like birds either.
I said I think you might secretly be a Herondale because you hate
can agree
ducks
with
so
that.
much.
I also think that I'm Matthew Fairchild because of the golden retriever.
You are
and
also
my
Matthew
sexuality and the emotional instability. But, yeah. Toronto.
Yeah.
But about.
See, that sounds Canadian.
Nope, you sound American. That's how you say it. Nobody says a boot. You guys can make fun of us for a lot, but a boot is unfounded. Unfounded.
And we make fun of Minnesotans too.
Minnesota.
Sometimes
What was it? What was the show that
was? What?
My dog snoring very loudly next to me.
I have undiagnosed ADHD, so sometimes I mimic accents, and people are like, "Why are you talking like that?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, I just watch a lot of TV, and
Is that an ADHD thing?
It is.
yeah."
Whoa.
Because one time, like,
I didn't realize that.
It's a
I
massive
started
thing.
watching like Peaky Blinders and like The Bodyguard with that has Richard Madden in it, and Calvin's like, "Why are you Why are you talking in an Irish accent? Why are you talking in a Scottish accent?" And I'm like, you know what?
I really.
It happens.
Keep going.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
You can
The
talk to
more
me.
I learn, I'm like, I need to be evaluated. Because it used to be so hard for me when I was talking to someone who has a strong accent to not pick up their accent.
Yeah.
Isn't it friggin' though, like, if you were like a gifted female child student that like was quiet and did all your shit, you had ADHD and nobody told you.
With girls.
Can we rewind
That's like
to what
the
you
boy
just said?
said.
A gifted female
know
child
that.
student.
You knew what I meant.
A gifted female child student.
You know.
I think I would have been if I had been in public school or private school or anything but middle school. So, which is probably why I was not diagnosed, because my mom let me learn for the most part at my own pace.
There's also been a study recently linking queerness to ADHD.
Really?
Which I don't know if I want to think about the implications of that too much, but like that queer people are more likely to be neurodivergent. So maybe we're just evolving.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't like.
Why would I want to be
Maybe.
neurotypical? Like, you know how boring that is to just wake up.
Right?
You have nothing going on with you. You don't think about other things. Or
You don't have 3 things going on in your head at one time.
I was thinking about my dissociation and how, like, if I'm alone on a long car ride, I get in the car and then I arrive at the place. Like, I don't actually experience the car, like the trip very much. And I was like, the rest of you have to deal with it. This must suck.
See, my big thing is maladaptive daydreaming. I've done it since I was a child and never stopped. So, like it doesn't get in the way of me doing things.
And all of a sudden you're like, oh shit.
I'm there.
What the fuck was happening?
I'm a better driver.
I definitely have gotten in the car and almost ended up at the wrong place because my brain took over and I wasn't thinking about where I actually needed to go.
But I'm honestly more likely to do that because I think it is more like dissociation, where like my like it's just freaking gone. So I'm a better driver when I'm not actually thinking about what I'm doing at all. Like I don't ever miss my exits. I just freaking end up there. And my brain was the whole time my brain was like, what do you think's gonna happen next on Disney Plus's Loki? Like that, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, see, I am always like, okay, what exit is it? What exit is it? What? Like, don't miss the exit, Margaret. Like my brain does that.
Well, that
The only
you,
thing that
if you need to focus, like if you actually have to focus on driving, which you should, because it's not so much that you're a bad driver, it's that everyone else is.
Focus.
I don't know what sucks though.
But like I have to be like more cognizant of it. Like when I was driving a lot for my old job, I had to be in the moment the entire time, and I had to be like conscious of that.
I make more mistakes.
Well, what sucks is when you're on a really long trip and then you're like, oh no, I'm going.
People don't know how to drive in Utah. Like they don't know how to use their blinkers. They just decide to show up in your
Or in Florida.
Like Montreal
Minnesota.
is the scariest.
Nobody knows how to drive.
Minnesota people don't know how to fucking drive either. They just
And
can't
especially like Idaho people do not know how to.
So this is my father's logic for not using his blinker.
No.
He says
There's
because
no
when you turn your blinker on, they will speed up and get in your way, making you more likely to crash into them. I'm just like, I mean, some people will in Florida.
Margaret,
Some people, if they see you are trying to get over, they'll try and get ahead of you.
can I ask you a
They don't
really
wanna slow
serious
down.
question? Can I ask you a really
Go
serious
ahead.
question? How are you okay?
Me?
That is such a combative logic that your father has. Like, if I use my blinker to tell them where I'm going, they'll fuck me over. How are you? How are you okay? How did you not like? I'm gonna fight everybody. Like,
I don't know.
No, I think that he does do that.
Did you miss yesterday in the Discord?
yes,
Or the day before?
yes, probably. I've been working my ass off this week. It's been insane.
I sent you all of the screenshots.
That was but that wasn't combative. That wasn't combative. I think you're passionate. I think you're fiery. I don't think you're antagonistic or looking for a fight.
Margaret can have that scary dog energy.
Margaret has
I'm not
karmic justice. That's what Margaret is.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
I don't
looking
think
for a fight.
Yeah, but you'll engage in it.
But if you talk out, if you bring some foolishness to my place, I will end the fight.
But it looks like your dad's looking for a fight by proactively fucking up everyone else's driving experience.
Maybe it's just the male versus female element of that same.
What sign is your dad?
He was born in March 5th.
Oh,
He's an Aries.
A Pisces. All
No.
right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's a Pisces.
So the thing you need to understand about me, Christine,
Eric's the 25th, so he's an Aries.
is that I am basically a clone of my father. Like there are things that I do that I'm like, oh, dad does that.
I know you would signal.
I know you used your.
I do signal every time.
That's you would probably signal in the middle of the night where there's no other people. You'd be the person to signal when you know you're alone.
I do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's because I'm a Capricorn, type A, and the oldest child.
I know you follow driving laws.
Most of the time, I've gotten stop signs don't always need to be there.
Oh God. You know, there are a lot of road rules that I think are fascist, like speeding. Why you gotta? I can go as fast as I want as long as I'm in control. I speed everywhere. There's no time I'm following the speed limit. Because it's wrong. It's wrong. But
I live in Florida. So if you are less than 5 over, you are going slow in Florida.
That low key scares me just a little bit because
it's same here though.
You should be going 15. You should be going in a 15 in a school zone, whether or not that you see any kids, because it does not matter. It doesn't matter where you are. Actually, a little kid will just come out of fucking nowhere.
So residential areas.
The only place.
I don't see near a school.
Residential areas. I'm under the. Residential areas. I'm under the speed limit. I'm 5 under. School zones.
Highways.
I am at the speed limit, which drives me nuts because the speed limit in our school zones is 15 and the speed zone in Gainesville was 20, and 15 is so much less than 20, like so much slower, and
it really is.
So I for a minute I thought you meant 15 kilometers per hour, and I was like, how do you get across town?
To run down children.
No, that's so slow. 15 kilometers per hour. You can walk a kilometer in 2 minutes.
The speed zone or the speed limit in school zones is 15 miles maximum. Yeah. But if you are going during any sort of busy time, it is actually like 2 miles an hour.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm talking about highways. They have like if you're going the speed limit on a highway here, you're actually more dangerous because the flow of traffic is like at least 20 over.
Yeah. If I am on a highway, I'm going the flow of traffic.
Our speed limits on freeways are generally 70 here in Utah, and they've been talking about how they've been pulling over people that have been going 100 plus on the freeway. And they said that someone pulled someone over going 122 miles an hour on the freeway.
Like, did they think they were in Germany?
I'm like, how does your car even go that fast?
You know what though? You just can't be the fastest one. The rule is
as long as the fastest faster.
Find your rabbit is the rule. Yeah, find your rabbit.
I don't know what that means.
Michelle's like, I'm not risking that.
The limit is like 70, 80 on like 75 on the highway, and then on 6th Avenue it's 30 miles per hour. That's like the main road. So
I think that between the hours of midnight and 4 a.m., it should be like the purge for road laws. Like no drinking and driving, no drugs and drugs. Don't drive on the influence ever. That's like because that ends in like serious death. Like fuck that.
Yeah, but no speed limits. And
I'm the only one for like if it's a red light and I'm the only car and it's 2 a.m. and I can see it's a clear night, I can see. Fuck you, Ontario. I want to go to bed.
See, Christine, I would trust you with that, but I feel like there are other people we can't.
I don't trust other people. That's the problem.
Anyways,
but like, if you I guess there are some places in the world where nighttime doesn't like matter, like cities. But here, I'm just trying to get home. I'm just trying to go to bed. Why am I at this red light for 5 minutes? Why does it have the same time?
One red light in my town. One. Okay.
What's that like?
And
why
that red light
that small
is the longest light in the history of any traffic light
you want to blow it.
Existed.
You want to drive through it, right? If it's like midnight and you're the only one on the road and you're getting home, you want to blow it.
But see, the problem also is that the cops here are really bored because
there's only one light.
Like 2,000 people here. There's nothing to do. So they're really bored. So you go 2 miles an hour over the speed limit and they're like, meh.
A cab.
We have somewhere in my city where we're like Kenneth City. If you're on 54th, you have to go the speed limit because the cops will pull you over if you are even 10 of a mile over the speed limit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, if you're in town and you're going 32 and a 30 mile an hour, you're gonna get pulled over if they see you.
Which is annoying because not all speedometers are accurate.
Right?
Well, they're supposed to usually fight it within 5 miles.
Yeah, you're supposed to not. They're not supposed to pull you over if it's within 5 miles because
kilometers here.
Where I live, if you're within 5 miles, well, actually, so I have literally had cops tell me as long as you are less than six or less miles, we can't even pull you over.
Okay, but here's the thing, though, like realistically, and this is a privilege thing, right? Like we're all sitting here talking about how comfortable we are speeding. I could be going whatever speed I want. I'd have to be the only person on the road to get pulled over. I'm not gonna get pulled over, man. Like it's a privilege. It's a white privilege thing. Like we get to speed all we want, but
absolutely.
But that's what I mean, though. Like these friggin'
I don't drive.
I have a friend that he literally has a lawyer that he has for that purpose of when he gets pulled over for being just a little bit over the speed limit. Yeah.
Wait.
He had.
Because he speeds that he gets caught that much?
That was he's black.
Oh, okay.
So-
I was thinking like a white friend that was so bad at driving.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
Like,
Yeah. Okay.
Wally was accelerating to get up a hill, and a sheriff in like Texas or Louisiana or Alabama pulled him over. And I was too dumb at that point to realize what could have happened.
Yeah.
But like
Alabama's terrible.
there was a car full of young white girls in with him. So I don't know how it would have gone if it had just been him and his wife, who is Latina. So
Alabama.
Like she said, she is legitimately terrified anytime he gets pulled over.
Alabama just felt like it was always like 3 seconds away from slipping right back like into some like a riot. Like there was so much like you entered the state and there was just like tension. It was so weird. It's the only place I've been where like I went to a restaurant and it was all white people eating and all black people serving. Like it was so, I don't know. I just like I went there and, oh, this is the United States. Like this is because I've been to other places, right? But I was like, this is actually it. Like
that's like Rapid City here in South Dakota. Like there's a lot of natives, but it's actually really dangerous there for natives because like there have been so many. There was this one medical case like a few years back where this old elder, he had like slurs and stuff scratched on his back after a surgery. Yeah, it was horrible. God. So they like some of my cousins live there, but they don't like living down there, and I don't go over there either. Mostly because it's like 8-hour drive.
Yeah,
where I live to there, but like I just never visit there.
I don't know if this is the same as in other states, but in Alabama, we went to the movie theaters in Alabama. There was a curfew. So you had to be home or whatever by certain, and then there was a presentation before the movie about what to do if there's an active shooter in the movie theater. And like being from Canada, this was like the scariest shit ever, right? Because that's just not something like thankfully
we do not have that in Florida.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I didn't experience that in any, and I went to a number of states in the South, and that was like Alabama's the one where I was like, oh, like we wouldn't have been safe to bring my stepdad. Like if he had come on this trip, we could not have stayed here. Like kind of, yeah, it was scary. So
Mississippi's really bad too, from what I understand.
We didn't get out of the car in Mississippi. We just drove through it on the way from Alabama to Louisiana, and then Louisiana was like amazing. Like but
yeah, I only know that because that's where Andy Thomas lives. So, and she talks about some of that stuff.
Yeah. No, I try Illinois. Oh, I have never been west of Lake Huron.
All that's in Illinois is corn. I have been through Illinois. There was corn and there was soy.
The only place I've ever driven in Illinois is Chicago.
Woof. Woof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come here.
He's trying to protect.
Which one of the dogs is that?
I think that's Sam. He's the protector.
Oh,
everything is
the deep bark.
Yes.
The deep bark is Sam.
Oh no.
Oh, mine was Cassie.
That is Sam that you're hearing right now.
That's Sam.
Yeah.
I would have thought that was a bigger dog.
Cassie has the Briar, who's 20 pounds bigger than Cassie. He's like, and Cassie's like, boof. She's so little and feminine, and she's like, who is here at my house? Like,
the expression on your face as you did it too was so. Yes.
I'm just waiting for Shotzi to hit puberty because right now she still has that high pitched.
You can't get her to bark now.
Yeah, Sam.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
He saw a truck go by, and so now he has to protect everyone and everything. It's his mission in life. He does perimeter checks around the house and everything. Like it's all serious business around here.
He's Captain America, of course he is. He's like, I have important jobs.
Oh yeah. I mean, now
Susie was so difficult.
He is actually Uncle Sam. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like it suits him. Because I have a Neff dog. I'm about to have an actual nephew. He's Uncle Sam now.
A nephew for sure?
Yes.
Yay! Congratulations!
I'm excited.
Is there a name picked out?
The first name they've picked, but have not disclosed to anybody.
Right.
So I'm not allowed to say it. But the middle name is still, I love it. It's the one that I wanted them to pick. So I'm happy. Like, they had a couple of different options, and I was like low-key quietly rooting for the one they picked. I was like, yes, that's the one I liked. Like, I liked the other ones, okay, but like this was my favorite, so I'm excited for that.
I'll love the kid more if you give them this name.
Oh man, I'm excited though.
Oh, that's funny. I had a friend that her husband at least had enough sense because she wanted to name her child Kale.
Oh,
like the salad?
I have a baby nephew named Kale.
Whoops.
Like, I think it's a cool sounding name. If you're gonna name them after the plant, it's a little weird. If that makes sense.
They spelled his with a K, but that's because all of the kids, they all have K names, and even the pets. Even the pets had K names.
If you were gonna do that, here's my feeling. If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna go for like a one-letter naming convention, don't pick K. It's like when companies change the letters in their, like, from C's to K's and stuff. You hit 3 K's and we have a problem.
Like, well, there's 5. Okay, so like, it's funny because the dad has an H name, the mom has an M name, and then they decided on K. So there's Keaton, Kalijah, Katrina, Kara, Kayan, and then the kids are Kale, Kiri, Khaleesi. There's like, and they even named the pets. Like, they even named the turtle Kenny. Like,
their child is named Khaleesi?
That's a choice.
And then
there are a lot of children I feel named Khaleesi now.
Okay, so this is a different problem than
not gonna lie, when Derek and I were picking out names like long time ago prior to the end of the season, we were like, oh, Daenerys would be a cool name because then we could call her Dany.
For a baby or for a dog?
Well, no, but then we were like, and then the last season happened, and we were like, I'm really glad we never got pregnant.
Yeah. See, I feel for a dog, name it after, like, I want to name a dog Magneto so bad.
Yes.
But I would never name my kid Magneto. Oh.
That's cute. Like, I don't know.
No, you would just name your kid Aaron.
I'd have to talk to a kid.
They never watched Game of Thrones.
They never watched it?
No. This is they don't have HBO. So they just,
that's awkward.
they named all of
This
the
kid is gonna
kids
grow
babies.
up and realize that they were unintentionally named after mass murder.
I mean, they're really cute, so I don't think they really care right now. They're like, she's like 4.
I like Clyde.
4.
I actually think Clyde's a dope name.
We have a Clyde. Yeah, we have a Clyde.
And with the
too.
K is cool because it's like a little bit different.
Clyde. Yeah, and Katrina's a really pretty name. What were the other ones that you said?
Well, no, my cousin's name is Kalijah.
Is that?
So it's Kawliga. Kalijah. And then
Cool.
There's a Keaton.
That's not how I would have spelled that, but okay.
We got weird names. And then we have Katrina, but we call her Anna. And then there's Kayan with Kayan, and then there's Kara. Yeah.
I'm really stuck on Clyde. I really like Clyde.
Nice.
I should name you Clyde.
I saw somebody that named their kid Elijah, but with an A, and I was like, that's actually, like, I like that spelling. Like, they were trying to keep with all of their kids having names.
Teddy.
Yeah, it was Alija.
No, sir.
I would read that Aaliyah, though. I would genuinely, if I saw it on paper, I would read it Aaliyah.
I mean, it helps that I knew it was a boy.
Yeah.
So, like I was able to go, oh, okay, I know, because he does have a sister named Aaliyah, but they spell that Aaliah.
Right. For my next dog, it has to be a D letter for the next dog, and right now I'm really stuck on Dido, like the queen.
That's not a bad one.
Very good.
I mean, yeah, but as a call name, like the name is cool, but as a call name, I don't know if that would work.
Dido. You just have to say it in a baby voice. Everything works in a baby voice.
I'm pretty sure Cassie's name is Cassie, and I call her Tippy and Dippy and Flippy most often. So.
Well, I don't know why, but I always call them Bubs.
Right? They get their Briar gets every like Briar is Briar, brioche bun, brie, brie, brew, bri, brew, brewy. I didn't give her all these. This is mostly my sister. My sister calls her Max Moobaloo. So then she started calling Briar Broobaloo, and she's like, it doesn't work for Cassie. So Cassie is Cuckoo Banunu. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
Shotzi's just dumb.
Sam used to, I was making fun of like different pet names, like not animal pets, but like pet names that people would name like nicknames.
Yeah.
For people, like for their significant other. And I saw this list where somebody had literally listed Boo Bear.
Bree Bear.
As yeah, well,
that's
Boo Bear, but
that's a name for a baby.
Yeah, so then I of course started calling Sam Boo Bear as a joke, and he started answering to it.
You want to know what I call Alex? Alex, what do I call you?
No.
What do I call you?
No, I don't.
What do I call you?
Call me Stinky.
What?
I call him Stinky.
Okay, that's not the word. I feel like that is exactly what you would do.
I feel like it's mild gaslighting because he'll get out of the shower and I'll be like, hi, Stinky. He's like, I just showered. I'm like, well, you stink.
That's actually
maybe that's why I should.
Because my aunt used to call my little brother Stink Butt.
I've heard that one a lot.
Or we would call him Kirby Stinkers, even though he didn't stink. He was just cute.
Alex, you stink.
Well, it's funny because I'll hear like you little stink butt. My friends will like I've heard people use that with a child, but like they're not talking about actual smell. They're talking about like you little stink butt. Like
stinker.
you've been shady, you've been sneaky, you stinker.
No,
like,
I also call Soren a turkey.
My dogs are fluff butts.
Yes, absolutely.
That's because they have fluffy butts.
I tell my dogs they have ripped butts.
Especially does right now because she's shedding right on her hips.
Sam, where are you going?
Butt still has the fluff.
Sam.
Cassie's got like a rock hard, firm, muscly ass. It's pretty appealing. I think that if you were to come over to my home and grab her rear, you'd be like, oh, she's fit. And I'd be like,
Doyle's just a snuffleupagus right now.
A what now?
A snuffleupagus.
A snuffleupagus.
Okay.
From Sesame Street.
Wait, is that like a millennial thing? Did you not grow up watching Sesame Street?
Is it an American thing?
Canadian.
I watched Sesame Street.
Maybe it's an American.
An American?
Do you know who Snuffleupagus is?
No.
Snuffy's the best.
Or he is looking
Yeah,
at me
he really
blankly.
Because I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you know? Okay, so
Snuffy's
I know you don't know. I was asking if Bree knew.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you know that
Snuffy's the best. I love Snuffleupagus.
Snuffy, when they first introduced the Snuffleupagus, everybody thought that Big Bird was lying. They thought that he was fucking mental because he was like, yeah, my friend Snuffleupagus is here. And they're like, yeah, sure, Big Bird. And he's like, no, really, he's real. They did not believe him. They were literally gaslighting him and being like, no, he's not.
That is Snuffleupagus.
A lump of shit. Is Sesame
She
Street?
has a little
He's legit real.
Is Sesame Street the one with Elmo?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, my mom put it. My mom was like, "There will be no Elmo in our house."
Well, I guess you would have been in the time like when Elmo was the big, like the main character, and he was very annoying. But like, we grew up with, like Big Bird and Snuffy and Bert and Ernie as like the
gay
main
couple.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh! I need to send you the Gift of Magi clip. I'm gonna do that right now.
Okay.
There's a.
We were talking they were brothers.
From like the old ones. There's a Gift of the Magi thing. It's a Christmas episode where Bert and Ernie want to get each other Christmas gifts, but they don't have any money, so they trade in like their most precious items, which is for Bert, it's his paperclip collection, and then for Ernie, he literally trades in his
rubber ducky.
Yeah, rubber ducky. And it's so cute. And then when Mr. what's his name was alive, they had the store, Mr. Hooper. When Mr. Hooper was alive, he literally gave them the gifts and then brought them. It was super cute. I'm going to find it. I'm going to show it to you. Christine, you're going to cry.
Am I?
Yeah.
No, I don't think she will. She's a robot.
No, you're going to be like, wow, that was really cute.
I thought we established I'm the only one that cries at books. Why am I the robot?
Oh, why is there paper in my water?
Good question.
Yeah,
my water's
why?
almost done.
But did you guys?
I don't know.
That's the Tales?
I was like 12 when that came out, so I would watch it sometimes with my brother. Yeah.
So
I was like 12. I know it.
That's what.
Yes.
What?
Dragon Tales.
So good.
Listen, Dragon Tales was the shit.
Good.
It slapped.
Dragon
really
Tales,
did.
Dragon Tales.
And then what else?
Oh,
Apparently,
no, you take my hand.
Oh my god, I remember.
Do you remember Big
I remember
Couch?
Zoom.
Yes.
Do I remember what? Oh my god, Big Comfy Couch.
Yeah.
We use it like so.
is Zoom where they speak
It's a comfy
Hubby
couch. Yes. And my brother were the most
Dubby?
obnoxious. My brother and I were the most.
Krubba Stubbing, Abba Lubba Subbeth, Wubble Subbin.
And we would go around doing that because we were
Do
obnoxious.
you know that my mom gave us instructions in that language? She would tell us what to do for the day in Hubby Dubby because her and her brother learned it and would have secret conversations in the car. So she'll still, if she's mad at me,
I love it.
Krubba Stubbing, Abba Lubba Subbeth, Wubble Subbin. Like,
How does your mother know about Zoom? Did she grow up with it?
I think so. She was born in 69. Let me just say that my mom
we watched was definitely done in the 90s.
I think my mom speaks Hubby Dubby as well as she speaks English.
There you go.
It's impressive.
So
funny.
Hubby Dubby is my official second, like it's a language of my heritage at this point because that's friggin' what I heard. The funniest thing, I never understood it. My cousin's name is like Richard, like Richie, and my mom would always snicker because she'd be like "rubba chubby," and I never got it. And then as a teen, I was like, "Mom!" Listen.
Land on that note.
Oh,
Hubby Dubby has like a long and I've never seen Zoom once, but I can speak Hubby Dubby.
I used to like to do the crafts, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember the crafts. I remember the games. Zaboomafoo was another big one in my house.
Yes.
Oh my god, yeah!
I don't remember the name of that show.
In my house is a letter to Chris and whatever. Chris and Steve?
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a letter
think
to
so.
them being like,
on TikTok.
oh, I was upset. I would talk to them, apparently. Apparently, I would fully, that might have been my first dissociative period because I would fully just like talk to them like they were there and the show was real. I was like, the show is real. It's real. They're like the first Buckies. I'm like, yeah, there's no boundary between this and reality. This is reality.
Zaboomafoo was amazing.
Such a good show. That's quality. That's quality kids programming right there. And for a puppet, not nearly as creepy as whatever the fuck piece of shit you showed me there. That was a terrifying puppet.
Oh my god!
It looked
He's
like
less terrifying when you were a child and you can hear his
feel
voice.
So sad.
Right.
it looks like what my toilet looks like after a bag of Doritos. So-
Okay. Well, he gets better as the show progresses because of like all the things they can do. Do not go back and watch anything from the 70s or the 80s.
Oh no,
it is creepy.
I promise you I won't.
There's
Have you seen some of the Big Bird variations, Michelle?
oh
Big
no.
Bird.
Like
There-
there are some Big Bird variations that are absolutely terrifying.
Oscar is the same way. There are some terrifying iterations.
Christina's looking for the Big Birds.
No, I'm
Isn't she?
not.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Really, like I don't know. I'm not somebody that fondly revisits. Like I think that the only I rewatched Recess when Disney Plus came out because Recess was surprising.
I remember that one in Doug.
And then I'll rewatch sometimes episodes of like Phineas and Ferb.
Love.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but I'm not usually one. It has to be pretty clever for me to like.
I've never seen Phineas and Ferb.
I know there are a lot of kids shows that I rewatch like all the time. It's a very anxiety reducing activity for me.
Really?
I would definitely rewatch Digimon if I had access to it. That was a good show.
I'm very excited that the Netflix Trolls of Arcadia is coming out with a new season.
No, I'll watch new
yeah.
kids shows like fucking Shira, right? Like Shira, Kipo, the Owl House. If anybody's sleeping on the Owl House, don't. But do not. But like, no, I don't go back and watch stuff from my youth a lot.
What about Bear in the Big Blue House?
I was too old for that one.
Fond memories?
I babysat
From being
kids
a child,
I saw bits
upon
and pieces.
revisiting it, unsettling.
Yeah.
But like,
It was Sesame Street, and then we would always watch the Berenstain Bears after that.
as I said in a group
Yes.
chat the other day, I was not allowed to watch Berenstain Bears because the daughter sometimes mouths back to the father.
Wow.
So if that's not the best insight to my dad, I don't know.
I have a friend that when we were teenagers, she said she would not let her child watch The Little Mermaid, and I was like, oh, because she's wearing revealing clothing because we were super conservative. She's like, no, because she talks back to her dad.
See, but that one was.
And I'm just like,
reason.
Just because they see it on TV doesn't mean that's the only place they're
Oh,
going to
and
get it from.
I am
They're
like,
going to do it no matter what.
such a daddy's girl, so like he did not have to worry about it.
Nighttime TV
See,
was very regulated. I think that the only like adult type show that I was allowed to watch as a kid was Touched by an Angel.
Oh, I was allowed to.
I wasn't allowed to watch that one.
I saw that.
That one was too adult.
I remember
came on
seeing it
too
a few
late.
times and being like, "What the fuck is like?" As a kid, being like, because we were
I'm thinking Seventh Heaven. We definitely watched
I was not
some
allowed
episodes of Touched by an Angel.
Seventh Heaven's like serious though. Like they go through some really serious topics. I can understand not wanting your kid to watch that.
But even like season 1, I wasn't allowed to watch.
Yeah,
I was the only thing I was not allowed to watch specifically. My papa said, "Don't watch that. I don't want you watching it." Was Deeper Creepers. I don't know how he ended up watching it, but it just depended on the antenna. He must have been watching it, and he watched the whole thing. And he was like, "She's never watching it. It's terrifying. It scared me to death. She's not watching it." What did I do? After I got out of the house, I watched it. And I was like, now I know why you didn't want me to watch it.
I did that with the Basilisk from Harry Potter 2. I was not allowed to watch it. A kid that would jump into bushes to catch snakes was not allowed to watch that show. Okay. And I did though. And then I got in so much shit from my dad. He's like, I specifically told you deliberately disobeyed me, Dean. And I was like,
we weren't allowed to watch Jumanji or Jurassic Park because my brother would have terrifying nightmares if he watched scary movies.
Oh, no.
What a win.
So like, we were not allowed to watch
no.
those. It's so
That
funny.
is a
I mean, like,
win.
okay, so wait, raise your hand if you've seen Aladdin. I'm sure we all have.
Yes.
The carpet scene where the fire is falling down. He was 3 or 4, he had to be in someone's lap during that scene, or he was inconsolable.
Are we now allowed to make fun of him for this?
Yes.
I mean, sure, go ahead. I don't care.
My mom would watch like surgery shows right before we went to sleep, and so we were watching like blood and guts of human, but it wasn't like violence, it was surgeries. So my mom was like watching that, and then we had to try to go to sleep.
Oh, that's okay.
I used to watching it.
We went through a period of watching House while eating dinner.
Oh yeah.
I used to do that with like vet shows and medical shows, and it didn't bother me at all. As long as we are not doing anything with anyone's eyeballs or nose, it doesn't squeak me out.
Somehow eyeballs are 50,000 times worse than any other body part.
I don't like
and skin.
Like there are certain things that can happen with the eyes, but if there is anything that's like a needle, a probe, like anything whatsoever, I can't.
Yeah, I also
like there have been Grey's Anatomy episodes I've had to pause.
I can watch anything like blood and organs related. It doesn't really affect me because I don't think I've ever like seen my organs. But if you show me like a bone breaking through skin, like a bad break, like I'll actually be like very faint because I can remember watching my arm break the one time, and I'm just like, like it's super triggering. So yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, those are the ones that always throw me in Grey's Anatomy when there's a big trauma and they bring in like
that
those things. So
that
like,
doesn't bug me at all, but I cannot watch like those like compilation videos of gymnastics, like when they get injured. I can't watch them. I've seen that live.
We saw a girl break her neck in Toronto every year. There's like the Royal Winter Fair. It's like an agricultural fair, and there's always a horse show. And we saw a girl fall off her horse and break her neck, and that yeah. So
I was watching, is it the Lions? There was like 10, 20 years ago, it's got to be 20 years ago. There was a player that I was watching the game when he got hit and broke his neck. I think it was the Detroit one.
It's possible.
So
that's like it. And I feel like those like
someone did it a couple years ago and they like their leg went the wrong way at the knee.
Yeah.
Just 2 or 3 years.
I saw that.
And isn't that so much grosser than like someone's stomach getting cut into? I feel like surgery is like controlled. It's like, okay, we're gonna go in there.
Surgery is controlled.
But when
you have
see scary
stuff on Grey's Anatomy when it's like they'll start puking up blood, I'm like, whatever. Like that's
because you know that it's not real and that it's
that's probably
set up
the only 2 deaths in Game of Thrones that ever bothered me were the eyeball one where he squeezed it with, and then when she got
how that happened
and when she gets burnt alive, when the kid gets burnt alive, those are the only 2. Everything else, like I mean, like some of them bothered me emotionally, but none of them bothered me in terms of like watching it. But with the child getting burnt alive, and then Oberyn, the beautiful bisexual Oberyn, just getting
he actually loved. I think he loved filming that. I'll try to find that interview. I have a friend; she'll find it for me, and then I'll send it to you.
Cool, but it was one of the worst things I've ever watched on TV. So
that's funny. My mom, when we were doing our co-op, we did a classical literature course where like we read Pride and Prejudice, we read the Iliad, blah, blah, blah. And it was funny because I was already planning on reading the Iliad for fun, but we were reading the Iliad. It's me, a couple other girls, and like a handful of boys who are also my like 14, 15, 16. And they were all so grossed out by some of the scenes. And I'm just like, he got a spear through his foot. What? It's okay.
This is war, boys. We've got to defend this fucking wall.
The Iliad is mostly genealogies anyways.
Is it ever?
The Odyssey I liked. The Iliad was just like, I'm only reading this because I need to read it to understand the Odyssey.
I honestly don't remember anything from English.
I don't remember either. Okay.
All right.
On that note,
might be on at my door, so I gotta go. Yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you want to find anybody that is on here, then the links are down below. That's pretty much it. Bye.
And we'll see you next month. Bye.